Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 34th episode of Blood on the Thames, a Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle set in London, England. God, that's a mouthful. With me tonight,
Carlos playing Moses of Clan Nosferatu.
Peter playing the slightly kind of flatline Benjamin of Clan Malkavian.
Philip, of course, no longer playing Jim, but now playing Sarah Woods of Clan Gangrel.
So last week we had an interesting session.
Say the least.
Well, from my side of the table, it was quite calm, relaxed.
Yeah.
I was contemplating the answer to that question about what we eat for breakfast.
Yeah.
I don't know what you guys were whinging about, to be honest. Yeah. But we'll do a recap just so that these guys can see how easy you had it.
Well, we had an interlude. We started the session with an interlude in which BJ, Puggle, and Bob, three Nosferatu, are witness to the Manchester Warrens being destroyed. Unfortunately, they're inside it all the time.
Yeah.
Oops. Meanwhile, London being completely and blissfully unaware of this, Prince Emrys delivers judgment on Jim, beheading him. Rather than face a social comment with Benjamin,
I don't know who wrote this script.
Yeah, the prince agrees that Alicia's gone too far this time and orders the constable to bring her in.
Additional note, the prince is unimpressed with the coterie and makes it clear he'll be watching them closely from now on.
Moses discovers that the police officer that went to Alan Burr's house is dead, in a style that looks very much Alicia-like. Tired and hungry, he does not have it in him to deal with Benjamin's church art.
So Benjamin goes to the gallery the following night to find Sarah, Jim's sister, has been turned into a vampire and is trying to feed on his security guard. Just when things look really bad, Alicia turns up and makes them much, much worse. She kills Amelia, puts Benjamin into torpor, and then sods off.
Moses follows her but loses her trail, and he then tries to decide what to do with Sarah, but before he can finish, Edmund and Lisa Ketting turn up. He grabs Benjamin and Amelia and hides in the middle of all this. He sees D.S. James' head. Also, well, it was pinned to a chair, so again, in a very Alicia-like fashion. And yes, she's most likely responsible for it.
We're blaming her.
Yeah,
basically.
totally. It's her.
For everything from now on.
Show me the proof.
Sarah is then taken away by Lisa Ketting and given a brief 101 on vampire life.
And the constable arrives, and Moses goes with her back to the church, bringing the bodies with him. And that's where we're left at.
That is indeed where we left it. So, everyone does recover willpower.
Yes!
So...
2 sessions without it. Rough, man.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh, you guys like to burn through it, man. You like to burn through it. Can't blame you, but still. So, we will begin with you guys. Benjamin.
I think I'm just going to chill for a bit.
Yeah, I mean, chill for a bit. I mean, you're not exactly comfortable, but you're not aware that you're uncomfortable, so all's okay. Moses, however, is the furthest thing from comfortable you can be.
Totally.
Keep in mind, any aggravated willpower doesn't recover.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So, although you've managed to give yourself somewhat of a mental slap to get yourself back into the mindset of being more mentally aware, mentally active, with the presence of the constable and everything else that's gone on, it's very difficult for you to kind of overcome the rush of attacks, whether social or physical or otherwise, that's happened against you and your kin over the past few nights in rapid succession. And now that you have one coterie mate dead, or deader, one coterie mate in that kind of middle ground.
Yeah. On the way to deader.
On the way to.
And another one unaccounted for. It's kind of complicated, yeah.
Yeah. So you're heading back towards the church. Okay, how are you getting there?
I'm going back with Nancy. I put Benjamin and Amelia in the trunk of the car.
Okay. You taking anything else with you?
I talked to the constable and to Nancy about just getting rid of the Masquerade bridge here, or at least cleaning things up, so the body of the guard as well.
Okay. As the constable heads out and climbs into the van, the same black van that you'd gone in previously, and Benjamin is placed in there. There's care taken just to ensure that nobody sees you wandering out with a fucked up corpse, because it's not exactly the streets aren't exactly empty at this point. But you manage to take him out to the van, you put him inside, and Nancy steps back up into the gallery and heads off down towards the end. And when she reappears, she's got the tattered remains of the security guard, completely exsanguinated, over her shoulder, and she has the head that she's kind of just like rolling around her fingers as she's trying to observe it as she's walking down the hall in this really strangely hypnotic kind of multitasking way, where she's trying to observe him from different angles as she's just wandering down towards you. And then as she goes past, she kind of turns the face towards you in the asking question of,
Detective Sergeant James Richardson.
police.
Yes.
And here I thought that tonight was going to get boring.
Yeah. She probably, well, I'm probably with a mop where the
Throws the head towards you anyway.
and then
As you fumble with the detective's head, she mops up past you, takes the security guard out, and moves over towards the van, opens it, and just launches him into it.
Yeah.
And then closes the door.
I get some of the cleaning equipment so we can at least make a quick clean, or at least take as much of the blood that we can. They're doing repairs, so there must be sand or things like that we can strew and then pick up to make it faster and neater.
Okay.
And
do wits plus investigation.
That's nasty rolling that read. That's not brilliant.
Yeah, Moses is seeing red.
Five successes.
Excellent. Whether it's because of the sheer weight of the violation hanging over you, or the fact that you have the constable close by, clearly expecting you to be able to handle this breach, you managed to tend to any and all evidence that's in the room that you can tell in very, very rapid succession. You managed to clear up any blood spatters there are, any dents that have been left, namely the largest one left by Alicia. You can't mend the hole, but you managed to cover it in such a way where the art that you put up in place of it looks pretty spot on. You managed to clear out the remnant of hair and blood from where she'd punctured through Benjamin's neck, and taken that away so that if anyone saw it, it just looked like a dent in the wall. Quite a sizable one that someone's clearly trying to hide, but doesn't look like someone's just put their fist through it all. The security room is the worst one, but you do manage to clear it. There isn't any blood in the office.
Security cameras, and that's when I check.
Okay.
Get the footage.
Okay. So
Actually, the whole footage. I'm not gonna get picky or whatever. Whole thing.
Okay.
Once Benjamin is out from torpor, he will sort it out. It's his.
So you're just taking what's on there.
All of it.
Okay. Are you checking it?
Put it. Not now.
Okay.
Because I assume it was quite late. When
It's 1:40 in the morning now.
Okay, it's 1:40.
Yeah, on the 21st, Tuesday.
I put blank new recordings for security, and I start checking it once we hit the van. Right now it's just cleanup duty, getting everything sorted so we can hop in the van, go back, can put the bodies, so we can start getting disposing of them, except Benjamin, of course. Maybe.
Okay. So you take all that back towards the van, and after perhaps longer than you're feeling comfortable staying in this area, you uncomfortably aware of the fact that the front door doesn't shut properly now that it's been broken. but you close it as best you can with a little bit more force to kind of jam it in place, and then step down into the van. Nancy's in the driver's seat. The constable is just sat next to her, just looking out the window and being left quite soundly alone, whilst you're in the back with Benjamin, who's unmoving, staring straight ahead, his jaw unhinged from where she'd torn through it, and the head of DS James.
And Amelia. And the security guard.
And the security guard. And you begin taking off towards the church at a slow pace, so as to ensure not to draw any sort of attention, because there are still cars on the roads, there are still people moving back and forth, and there are a lot of police presence around. So thankfully you return to the church.
Well, on the way there, like on the van, I just mentioned to the constable, remind her of what Katya found. Remember when the explosions happened? And I just actually bring them up in the screen. Explosions were in these areas, and Katya found out that sort of roughly in the center of that sort of like triangle was the visions of Voltaire. I have no idea what it means, but Benjamin got this. I think he got it from his sire. I'm not sure. Does that mean anything? Edmund was here with Lisa Ketting tonight. Why?
They don't share their business with me.
I'm just sorry, it's rhetorical questions. It's just putting it out there that is highly suspicious that they show up and then they leave, taking with them Sarah. More than one tradition has been broken. Accounting, progeny, domain, masquerade. It's,
I will continue my hunt for Alicia. Between you and Nancy, I will expect you to make progress on this in the absence of Gideon, until he recovers. I will allow you to prioritize things as best you can, but I expect to be updated.
Absolutely.
And she turns back towards the window and says nothing else.
I start going over the videos, or at least getting them ready so when I go back to church I can sit down and go through them.
Okay, so you start lining them up. So, meanwhile, you've been sat in this store, listening as Lisa has explained, very patiently, very slowly, the situation to you. And she has done it in a very... I mean, if she spoke it in a slightly different tone, it'd probably come off as condescending. She's not. She's quite clearly trying to ensure that there is absolutely no human excuse for why you might misunderstand what she's telling you. There's no grey area. She is being clear on what you are and the expectations. She hasn't gone into too much detail in terms of, you know, overwhelming you with political positions with other bits and pieces, but as far as you're aware, you are now kindred, and she stresses that is the word you use, not vampire. She points out the clear banes, the things you need to watch out for, and she emphasizes the importance of the traditions, and she goes through each one and then explains to you how unwittingly you've already violated them. And she does all this without trying to scare you, and not without trying to kind of make you think, shit, I need to do something about it, or fuck, I'm fucked. It's more a case of, this is the situation. It's not a good situation, but this is how it is. And then only once she is finished, at about 1:40 in the morning, or closing in past 1 o'clock, does she finally stop talking and just sit and watches you. And as she does so, you finally begin to ascertain something that you've been trying to keep track of, what it is about her that's been making you slowly uncomfortable while you chatting, and you manage to put your finger on it. That slowly throughout the discussion you've had with her, she's slowly been losing the pretense of being alive. Her skin has been slowly going paler. Her breathing has become less frequent until it's stopped entirely. And like a clock that stops working, you suddenly become painfully aware of its absence, in the lack of breathing, in the lack of blinking, in the fact that the only movements she makes are purposeful. She never does a fidget. She never otherwise reacts in a normal way. And as she draws to a close and suddenly becomes deathly still as she watches you, it's only then that it kind of dawns on you just how real the situation, everything that she's telling you about not being alive, is put on display there for you to see. You don't know whether or not it's a purposeful thing, or whether or not she just slowly lost the pretense. But she falls silent and then waits.
So, that's a lot. This is what Jim was hiding from me. Oh, no. God.
Your brother?
Yes.
Well, you can't blame him for that. He was held to the same laws that you yourself are now being held to. Do you have family?
My mother's still alive, and I have Jim. But
if you want the cold, honest answer, the response to that question is no, you don't. You can't see them again. You can't speak to them again. I mean, even if you were the greatest at hiding what you are, and trust me, sweetness, we all slip eventually. Even if you could maintain that pretense, eventually they'll begin to notice things outside of your control, like how you never look a day older, and yet they grow older. The fact that you're never seen in daylight. Or has that not dawned on you yet?
That's why Jim moved to night shifts. Fuck.
Well,
Fuck's sake, Jim. That's why that's how he was to survive that attack.
when you found out that your brother was alive, what did you do?
I tried to fight him.
Was there anyone trying to stop you?
There was a woman who I
There was obstacles,
yeah,
but you persevered.
yes,
Tenacious.
yes.
Now what if your family was as tenacious? What if they pursued you like you pursued your brother? I've explained to you the tradition of the Masquerade, our most sacred tradition. Prince Emrys predates the crucifixion. He is very old, and the reason he has survived as long as he has is because he holds himself to certain standards, and those standards are shared with those that he reigns over. So she continues to speak to you. If they found out about us, if your family found out what we are, and they broke this tradition, in most cities, with a younger prince, a younger patriarch, or whatever you wish to refer to him as, they would be executed. Anyone they might have told would be executed. Emrys is not like other princes, and he has no qualms about eliminating entire lines of family to ensure that there is no possible way our existence can be found. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
I pray for your sake that you do. But I will also confess that there is no guarantee that these lessons will be of much use to you. For as I've already said, you have already broken one tradition, without meaning to, I'm sure, unless you asked for the embrace. Then the prince has the right to declare who is embraced. Unless permission was sought, your life might already be forfeit. You need to be prepared for that. If you run, he will bring you to ground. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm sorry, it's not better news.
If my life is maybe already forfeit, why
Might be.
why are you helping me? Isn't that risking yourself?
No, because I fully intend on taking you to the prince. If I was to find a stray, I do not have his permission to end your existence. So the only recourse for me then is to bring you before him or the constable. And the constable is somewhat busy at the moment.
Okay.
So I will bring you before the prince, and he will make his own mind up. What did you do in life?
Past few years have been working as a social worker, helping children find themselves, helping them get homes, trying to adjust to kind society. That's the correct term. Is it I can't go back to that, or
No.
Then what do I do?
You wait to see if you survive the night. If you do, then you find a kindred to be responsible for you. If I take you before the prince, it'll probably be me.
And you are willing to do that?
I won't lie, I have my own intentions. But at this point you don't have much choice.
No.
And I assure you, tutelage under myself is far better than the alternative. Certainly more beneficial to you than tutelage under your sire, if tonight is anything to go by. But we would go from there. There's no point in making future plans yet.
Even if my life is forfeit, I would like to see Jim one before.
That's entirely up to the prince. The moment you stopped living, you became part of his city. You're here now at his sufferance. So until you're ready to return to the Elysium to await him, you're not going anywhere. So I recommend you take the time to steel yourself and let me know when you're ready. Meanwhile, you've returned to the church. You've gotten all the files in order. You've not viewed any of them yet. No. And you step up towards the church. And although it was locked, it's unlocked by Nancy as you move into the building. And it's cleaner than when you left it, not by massive degrees. Still quite clear that something's gone on in here. But most of the things that would immediately make someone know it wasn't just vandalism, that something worse had happened here, has been cleaned away. To your delight, the first thing to have gone is Benjamin's art.
Oh, finally.
And Jeremiah is awake, but he is sat with his arm in a sling, or a kind of jury-rigged sling, towards the front of the church. And as Jacqueline approaches, he immediately stands, and as she approaches, he leans in and he kisses her on the back of the hand, and then steps aside as she moves towards the back room. And then he looks over towards you, he looks over towards the ones you and Nancy carry. As Nancy walks past and gives him and moves towards the front pew, she puts her feet up on the rubble in front of her after doing a quick. And then he observes you for a moment, nods, and then slowly makes his way up towards the room, closing the door quietly behind him.
I take Benjamin downstairs where Jim is, grab my rosary, which is resting on Jim's chest, and bring Amelia downstairs as well. And I start looking for, I ask Nancy, it's like, do we have body bags?
We have plenty. I don't know if that should make you feel better or worse.
At this point, actually, it makes me feel better, which says a lot about the last couple of nights. I'll just go with her and grab a couple of them. One for Jim, one for Amelia, one for the security guard, and for whatever kindred body, Garou body, the lupines that are not already in a body bag.
Okay, so she heads back out towards the van. And now you don't have to worry about it being too subtle about it. The bags themselves are all put inside of a sports bag. Okay. So they're easy enough to transport. And there's not an awful lot of foot traffic around here. Most of the other foot traffic's more towards the centre of London at this point. And you step back inside with the body bags, open them out. And whilst Benjamin is in a state of rigor mortis, unmoving, jaw hinged, like this, Amelia is also staring ahead, but she is a lot She's a lot less pale than Benjamin, which is striking. But her torso is just bloodied. It's dried, but she is likewise unmoving. Jim has begun to decompose quite rapidly. And as you pick him up, there are parts of him which start to fall away, and you have to be careful when you put him into the body bag. So you put him up into the bag, zip it back up. What else are you doing?
Mark the body bags. This is gonna sound gruesome. I go over the bodies of the Garou. IDs, keys, rings, necklace, something that I can use later for a trace.
Every one of them is naked.
Great.
And a few of them don't even revert to human form. Some of them are wolf.
If the ones in human form have any tattoos, identifying marks, burns, scars, or whatever.
They're riddled with scars.
Yeah, I make quick note of those if there is or a couple of pictures or whatever. And then I ask the constable for permission to go hunt.
Okay. So you knock on the door for the constable, and then when the door opens, it's not Jeremiah. Jeremiah sat down at the desk, and he looks to be in mid-conversation because he immediately cuts off as you come in the door. But Jacqueline is on the other side of the door, and as she looks out, she waits for you to speak.
Apologies. The thirst, the hunger. Is it okay if I go hunting?
She steps out past the door and pulls the door shut. Then she takes a key and she locks it. And she puts it in her pocket, pulls back on her coat, and then marches towards the exit.
I follow her.
Okay. I assume you're going to assist.
Sorry?
I assume you're going to assist.
500%. Whatever type of hunt she wants to do.
Okay. Okay, so she marches out onto the street. And she takes a turn off down towards the road to a line where people are moving, coming out of a charity shop that seems to be perched up on the corner of the road. And they look to be late middle-aged, two ladies that are currently shutting at the shop. And as she moves past, they turn around and they start speaking to her in a way that is immediately familiar. And she actually does speak broken English to them, but she does so and receives such a response that it makes it clear that this is something that she will on occasion do. And then as one begins moving off, making her excuses, saying, yes, I gotta go, nice to see you, nice to see you, Jackie, nice to see you. I'm assuming you've gone.
Yes, I have to. And I go hungry. Making it probably the most dangerous hunt next to the constable ever in my life.
There's space next to him there, under the church. If you
there is an empty body bag with my name.
Preemptively brought it down.
Because probably the constable realizes that I am on the verge of losing it.
So she continues speaking to this woman. And then as she speaks with her quite quietly, there's a smile on the other woman's face, and then she nods. And then she turns around and starts undoing the door, opens it, and then gestures for Jackie to do it. To step through. She nods, and Jacqueline steps past, and then she pauses in the doorway and looks at you. And then closes the door behind her. And then you hear, and then the door opens back up.
I go there.
And she shuts it. The lady that moved in has been settled in a chair by the door, and she's got a cut on her brow, but it's not a deep one. It looks as though it's been purposely done just to knock her out, to jar her. And she's not old enough where such a hit is probably going to be life-threatening. But the moment that you see the blood, I need to check.
Well, not red, because willpower doesn't deal with those colors. Here lies the body of Moises Pineda. It's not good. It's one success.
Okay. So.
Wait, what dyscrasia do I have from...
Dyscrasia, yes.
What dyscrasia do I have from Amelia? Oh, I lost it. I'm at hunger 5.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, so I lost it.
So,
like last ditch effort.
the moment that you see the blood, you go rigid. And as you're about to go for her, your fangs bare, and as you begin to hunch, you start lurching towards her. I need you to make a strength plus... a dexterity plus athletics roll. No, strength plus brawl. Sorry.
Bestial failure.
Okay.
0 successes and a 1, but I'm... Well, actually, that doesn't apply. I'm in frenzy. So it's not that a bestial failure, it's just the beast.
Yeah.
The beast is wild.
Okay.
So it's not like I'm gonna get a compulsion.
Yeah.
Like the beast is in control.
Yeah.
As you lunge, you feel something on your shoulder that you're only barely aware of. And then as you turn and you snarl into Jacqueline's face, she stares at you. And then as she grabs you by the neck, she wrenches it back, taking you off balance, grabs her arm through both of the back of yours and locks you in place. And as you snap and twist and snarl, she just holds you there. And then she kicks the door behind her with a solid back kick at the back of her heel and shuts it. And then she moves you away from the window, puts you against the walls, you just thrash against it, knocking off paintings, knocking things off the side, but she holds you in place. And she holds you there for a good half an hour before you finally exhaust yourself.
Go, Jacqueline!
And then finally, when you stop, she removes her arm around your neck and the ones behind you, and then steps away.
I just collapse on the floor. Do I remember anything?
In that moment, you would have. It wasn't a long frenzy. It was only the sight of blood. You didn't taste anything.
Oh, okay. How do you do it? How do you do it night after night? How do you do it? I can't. And I've been saying that way too many nights in a row. I can't. How do you do it?
Because he needs me to.
I got no one who needs me to. Not even myself anymore. And the only person I thought I would be there for. It's complicated. I'm still hungry. Can I try again? And knowing that she's here, I very slowly approach the woman. Just if in case I lose it again, giving plenty of time to Jacqueline. So I walk with my hands behind my back.
So if you fail it, I'll let you use willpower to steal it for turns until you've taken enough blood to warrant a second willpower check.
Okay.
Good luck.
Thank you. That is 2 successes.
That's what you need. You
Okay.
manage to make your approach towards her, and you can feel your fangs still extended, and you can smell the blood, and you can hear the beast furious, just barely beneath the surface, demanding that you move fucking quicker and do what needs to be done. But you are more terrified of the beast behind you
Yes.
than the one inside you. And you make your approach and then begin to feed. How much are you going to try?
I'm gonna try to drink from the wrist. So if I lose it, I don't do any lasting damage to her neck or put her in any jeopardy. And I will try to take 2.
Okay. So, make your willpower roll.
That is 3 successes.
Which is what you needed.
Ah.
So, you take 2 points to bring you up to 3.
Yes.
And with the constable at your back, you have all of the incentive your little unbeating heart could need to make this feeding happen.
Yeah,
And the blood has never tasted so delicious, but this is a thought that goes through your mind every time you are this hungry. And you can feel her presence behind you. And you know that she's poised to wrench you from her if needed. But thankfully, as you can feel her beginning to slow in terms of breathing and pulse, you come away of your own volition, licking the wound closed. And then as she begins breathing heavier than she was before when she was knocked out, but not so heavy that you're beginning to panic that you've taken too much, the constable immediately sets you aside, lifts her up, and then moves towards the back room where there's a curtain. She pulls it across and sits her down in another chair and then pulls it back. And she puts the key down on the desk in front of her. And then she marches towards the door, pulls open the door, and waits for you.
And I tell her that the real curse of my clan is that just to feed, sometimes I have to go hungry or...
She grabs a great big bobble hat and throws it at you.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and do actually what I'm gonna try and do is a stealth roll, maybe a perform if I
Sure.
need to look. Three successes. Oh, wait. I needed to roll 1 die less. Less dice because of my bane severity. So, more likely to have a bestial. There we go. Yeah, 1 success. 2 successes. More in keeping. Yeah, my bane severity adds also to those kind of rolls.
Okay. Fortunately for you, whilst the disguise is not amazing, it's not a long walk to get back down towards the church. And you only see 1 or 2 people, and most of those people seem more taken with Jacqueline than the individual that's walking around behind her. And by the time you manage to get back towards the church and you step back inside, you're feeling a lot better in a physical sense, certainly in a hunger sense, than you did before.
Thanks. I will try to find more about what happened in the gallery through the security footage. And if it's not too much of a bother, I will hold prayers for Jim and now for I believe that's Amelia. That's Benjamin's assistant. How do we deal with them?
She was the property of your coterie mate, and we will ask him when he wakes.
I very vaguely remember a conversation a while ago. My coterie mates walked with Jim to where his grave is supposed to be. I don't know if it's an empty space, a place with an empty coffin or something, but if it is...
First things first, does he still speak to his sire?
Benjamin? Yes, he does. I was talking about Jim, sorry. But yes, Benjamin...
He needs to be fed more potent blood. He's in torpor.
I wouldn't want his sire to be helping him. Don't get me wrong. Benjamin was bloodbound to his sire until recently, to be honest. He just got his will back, it seems. He's now able to distance himself from him.
Is he a Christian?
Benjamin, I do not think so, no.
Is he a good man?
Yes, he is.
Walk with me. And she marches past you. She's reverted again to French since she's come back in.
Yeah.
And starts making her way down into the catacombs where you've laid everyone out. And as she approaches Ben, she takes off her coat and rolls up her sleeve. And slits her wrist. Nothing comes out, but she slits it. And then moves over towards him and then just pushes it to his mouth. Holds its jaw up so that there's a seal and just becomes still. So, you've now taken blood of a higher blood potency. So if you heal, you're waken.
Okay.
You are now one blood step.
Yeah, one step
towards
down to her.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
And one to you.
I mean, you can forget about
I
that.
just need to get an empty and Gideon, though. I've got the full set.
Okay. Once she's finished, she lifts her wrist back up, licks it, and then pulls her sleeve back down. She then rises to her feet and steps away without another word, leaving you alone in the room with your companions. Is there anything else you wish to do?
I'm gonna check that security footage and then pray. And then check more security footage and then pray. I don't see myself doing much tonight. Other than notifying... Who was it? Maureen? No. I forgot the name of the Nosferatu. I know it's not Carrion. It's the other guy that has the burner. Just so he let Plucky Jake know that I have been dealing with constable business. He might have heard of the attack we suffered. I'll give him a full report in person, if I can, tomorrow.
Okay.
And asking if he needs me for his... I mean, torturing Sabat looks like a lot of fun. Much more fun than what I've been doing the last 2 nights. So.
Okay. So you're going to start watching the security videos?
Yeah.
Okay. So, in the catacombs? Whoa. Stay. Apologies. This is about as techie savvy as I get. So you're waiting in the catacombs?
Yes.
Okay. So you flare up the laptop, begin connecting the footage and playing it. And then immediately the footage cuts to not the museum, but a room. A small room. It's got a timestamp on it. And it looks as though there are... It's quite a confined room. In fact, it looks almost like do an intelligence plus investigation.
Two successes.
It looks like a trailer or a caravan.
Okay.
And the curtains are all drawn, and there are some lights on overhead, and it looks like a lot of the furniture is covered with cloth. And then the camera begins to shake and move, and then it's lifted and taken over to a table and set down, and then in front of the camera sits Alicia. In some ways, I'd say I'm quite impressed with you. I think in others, I'm regretful. I haven't sired anyone in a long time. So when I do, it tends to be important. Jim was important. I did a lot for you and for the ones you were with. Like any one of us. I didn't always do it without strings attached, but that's how the game is played. But I'm proud that you've stopped being a doormat, Moses. Alan Burr is alive. I've sent him to the hospital. Not the one with the thing that so scares you. Northwest of the city. He doesn't know anything. She ends the video.
Rewind, watch again. I'm gonna watch for other clues, where she's at, while I check hospital records.
Okay. Intelligence plus tech. Oh, intelligence plus investigation. But I'll let your networks specialty apply.
Okay. Four successes.
Okay. Where are you focusing most of your attention, on her or on the hospital records?
On her.
Okay.
Her surroundings, whatever I can hear, like if there's like on the audio on the back.
Yeah. So in terms of audio, there are the sounds of cars, but they're infrequent. Even at this time, assuming it was taken this late, there should be more car traffic. And it's quite clear from the infrequency of it, she can't be in the city. Because even inside of the city, or even on the outskirts of the city, or even away from the main roads, there would be more traffic, there'd be more noise, there'd be more congestion, but there isn't. It's quiet. You can't see anything else because of where the camera is, but that suggests to you enough that it's not inside of London. And if it is a caravan, it's either a well-kept one or it's quite new.
Okay.
And that's pretty much all you'd manage to get out of it. You do check hospital records, you do see that Alan Burr has been submitted with extreme concussive wounds.
Well, I will, but I assume this already past 3. At this point, it was about 1 a.m. when we were cleaning stuff, and then moving back and forth, hunting, coming back, doing this. So it's late in the night. Probably.
It's about 3 or 4.
3 or 4. Yeah, I'm just gonna spend the rest of the night here now, finishing the cleanup. But before dawn, misa de gallo, whatever it's called, like it's like a 5:30 a.m. mass.
Mm-hmm.
I just joined the constable because I'm pretty sure Father Jeremiah is gonna at least try and officiate one, even if it's just for the constable, Nancy, and myself. And then let the constable know that I have Alicia's footage.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to do before the end of the night on your side?
I'm gonna spend the next couple of hours cleaning the church. I mean, it has gore all over.
As soon as we get to the end of the night, you'll be making your rolls. You, despite how well you managed to take the information, despite how well you managed to take everything on, it is quite clear from the involuntary reactions of your body, where you're breathing. In fact, I need a rouse check from you.
Success.
Okay. You are involuntarily forcing your body to respond. Your body is trying to respond in a way it thinks it should be. And it's not taking a conscious effort on your part, but it's more taking a conscious effort for you to try and stop it from happening. But she doesn't rush you. She remains quiet, she remains watchful. But true to her word, she doesn't let you leave. And before too long, the night begins to advance. And then when it gets to a certain hour and the clock, the old style clock on the wall, it dings, she turns and looks at it and looks back at you. Soon you're going to fall into a semi-torpor. Happens to all of us in the daylight hours. When you return, regardless of whether you're ready or not, we will go to the Elysium. You may sleep where you will. The place is secure, no one will come in. If you hold true to any gods, pray to them, and I will see you when the sun sets.
Thank you.
She steps out the front door, shuts it, and relocks it. Then you can hear her car. And then you can hear it driving away. Anything else you want to do?
Just probably find a comfortable chair.
There's quite a few. I mean, for an old-fashioned style store, they've got those old kind of ones that look like they should be in an antique showroom. They're comfortable, if a little rigid. But before too long, as the day sleep begins taking over you, whether you're comfortable or not doesn't matter, because your body just stops working. It's almost like slipping into a warm bath, but it's also terrifying for you because there's parts of your body which you cannot move, and it feels almost like sleep paralysis. But the last thing to go is your senses, as they just switch off. Last one to go is taste. You can taste the texture in the air of the dampness from the books, and then it goes. So I need 3 rolls from you.
A gazillion.
4 now, in theory.
Yeah. Well, roll your 3 first, because if you don't heal, then you're not going to...
You do heal, it's just how hungry you get.
Oh, yeah, true.
So,
Failure.
First time, first rouse check I passed. In a while.
so that was 1 success, so I'm going to go straight to hunger 4.
Okay, but you're awake.
But I'm awake.
Did you pass?
I failed, so I'm hunger 1.
So hunger 1, hunger 4, hunger 3.
Mm-hmm. Yes, 3. Staying at 3. Holding strong.
Okay. The mass was a peaceful affair, by contrast to the previous nights. And Jacqueline doesn't say anything. Father Jeremiah speaks. It's quite clear from his voice that he's had some sort of damage to his throat. But he pushes on anyway. And when he is finally finished, and you know when he's finished because Jacqueline just rises and he stops. She moves off to the other room and he makes to follow. And he locks the door behind her. And then when you return and you fall into your sleep, your body begins to lose control and you slip away. But then when you awaken, it's to the sound of movement off to your left. And as you turn and you look, you can see a rat moving over the surface of Benjamin. And then as he's staring above the ceiling, the very first movement he gets is when his eyes just drop towards the movement of the rat over him. His body is still ruined. And his jaw is unhinged still. Not as far as it was, but it's still unhinged to the degree where it's clearly unnaturally broken. But he is in motion again. And your day's sleep was filled with thoughts of the constable.
Okay. So, a couple of questions.
Okay.
What state am I? Is it just one terrible wound here?
No.
Oh no, she also did like
The worst injuries were... those haven't been touched.
Yeah.
Because although the ones that stop you from being mobile have been healed to the degree where you can be mobile again.
Yeah.
Your face has healed predominantly, and that's because you need it to feed.
Okay.
So it's prioritized that.
Can I talk?
Yes, but with difficulty.
Okay. Okay. And the other question is, because it was a fury frenzy, do I remember everything that happened in the fury frenzy, or did I just see red and...
See red and nothing else.
So basically, the last thing I saw was her stabbing Amelia, and that was it. That's all I remember. Okay. And I assume as well that when I see Moses, I also feel a little flutter of my dead heart. Okay.
You okay, Benjamin? It's okay. You got proper clawed.
Amelia. No.
Calm down. And
Dead?
I help him up. And I take him where Amelia is. Well, where the 2 body bags of the mortals are. I'm at the ready if I need to hold him or whatever. He's in no shape, so if I slap him, he'll fall again. So, and I open the body bag of Amelia. Like after I have put it there, close her eyes, and make sure that everything's alright.
Do I need to make a check?
No.
Okay.
You made it in the moment of frenzy.
It was Alicia.
Yes.
I saw her leaving after. Well, I assume after she did this to her and you.
Alicia did this and this and Sarah.
She embraced Sarah, yes, contravening. Well, she almost killed you, so not quite destruction, but she aimed for it, so that's an attempt. Embraced Sarah, so breaking the progeny. Sarah broke the Masquerade, and given the accounting, her and Alicia are responsible. She attacked you in your domain,
Yeah.
so it's the domain one. I mean, what else could you expect from a coward? I mean, it takes one to know one, and Alicia is a coward. She will not stand up to her peers or her superiors, but those beneath her. And Ancilla going on neonates and fledglings, she's all over that. She gets high on the power that probably envies from those above her.
I don't understand, Moses. I don't understand why.
She's mad that Jim died. And as a true coward, she's afraid of seeing that is her responsibility and her fault, or Jim's fault, not yours. Definitely not yours.
Why, Amelia?
Because you care for her. And she wanted to hurt you. And she succeeded. And now she will pay for it. I will find her. And I will deliver her to the constable. If she's lucky. Because I might not be powerful. But I'm shrewd. And tricky. And I'm pissed as fuck.
It's ruined, Moses.
What's ruined?
I thought I'd saved her. And not just saved her, I thought we were going to build something better. But it was just, I was just pretending. It was never going to be, was it? It was always just
You did save her.
a few nights.
Yeah, but your objective was met. You saved her from something else.
This isn't met. This isn't.
No.
She's
No,
murdered.
no. That is a fuck up of a sire. Alicia is the worst thing that could have happened to our coterie. Is the worst thing. She embraced Jim, which was nothing but trouble, and now she is not owning to the fact that she never trained her child properly. One failure after the next. Alicia is the source of over half of our problems. Not to mention lupines in the church. Or embracing Sarah. And then abandoning her. She is as good as dead unless a miracle happens. Which sort of happened last night. Because I couldn't find it in me to shoot it in the head. But I had every reason to do so. And I was lucky I was not scolded or punished for it. Because I'm supposed to uphold the traditions.
Yes.
But you were saving Amelia from something else. You were not trying to save her from Alicia. That was never your concern, was it? Were you fearful for that?
No.
Well, then consider Alicia an act of God. You could have not saved her from an earthquake or a typhoon or a coward.
What's the point, Moses? What's the point in doing all of this if Alicia just comes and destroys it?
Well, storm passes.
Not for her.
No.
Not for her.
No.
It will
the
never
storm
pass
is done.
for her.
It's done. She will not feel pain anymore. And I know you will hate me for saying this, but it is my belief that she was innocent in all this. Am I wrong?
You're right. You're right, Moses.
Then we'll give her the proper, if you don't mind, Santos Óleos, last rites.
If you think that will be best, then yes.
Her soul will be in heaven, as far as I can see it, if we give her the last rites and cleanse her sins.
I don't know about that, but she deserves a proper burial.
And she will have it. And so will Jim. He was not at fault for the desire he had.
I used to think he was a bit, well, I didn't think he was doing that well, but now I think he was doing very well.
Yeah, he was completely abandoned. Alicia probably taught him how to fight, probably taught him a couple of stuff, but not how to actually survive in a world that is very, very different from what she portrayed to him.
I think she hurt him. I think that's what he said once.
Well, I don't care. She is not sire material.
No.
And now you need to feed
Yes.
and heal. We have other concerns.
I'm hungry.
Yes.
I'm very hungry, Moses.
Yes, and in your state,
I'm too hungry. I shouldn't be this hungry. It's not safe.
in your state, it's not safe to go out. Also because
No, I'm a breach. I'm like Jim was. I'm a breach, and I'm hungry.
so let
This
me
is
help
exactly
you.
what he was feeling like. I didn't realise it was this bad.
Yeah, but you have me here by your side.
Oh, I've got you, Moses. I don't know what I would do without you. Thank you for doing the right thing for Amelia. I won't forget it. I won't forget it. I promise you.
We just need to
I
get you fed.
How? I can't go anywhere. And I'm very hungry. I don't think you can wait very long, Moses.
I know. Just give me a second, because I need to talk to the constable. Tell her that you have
Constable?
roused.
The constable.
She's the one.
Yes, no, I know. I think I need to talk to her.
You had a vision.
It's difficult. I wasn't very with it after things in the museum. Oh, the museum. It must be a mess. It must be awful.
We cleaned that up.
You did?
Yeah.
Right, because I yes, all right. You're sure? Yes, of course you are. Sorry. Yes, I don't remember much, but I think I might have had a vision about her. I don't remember it clearly, but I did see something with her in the church before the werewolf attack, and I think she might understand the other visions I had. I think she might be one of the only ones that will, because they're connected somehow.
Let me talk to her upstairs. Yes.
I probably shouldn't see her looking like this.
She's seen you like that. I mean, you're looking better than you were last night.
I don't mean that she can't handle it. I mean it's not polite.
I'll let her know that you're concerned about that.
Thank you.
Just go upstairs. Look for a window to talk to the constable. Brief her.
Okay. As you step up onto the main room.
Which one?
Whichever one's your coterie one.
Oh yeah, what was it? Katya. Yeah. I mean, if it's Jim, I'm gonna be really scared. So,
Hello.
Oh yeah, I'm hoping it's Katya. Pick up. Hello?
Moses,
Yes.
you called.
Yes, several times.
I've been busy. Clan affairs. What's wrong?
Have you heard?
You might need to be a bit more specific.
Oh, whoa. We have several issues One is probably a clan affair for you. Needles. We need to talk about some needles. Also, certain cross hands that burned. And Jim doing his best impersonation of the Legend of Sleepy Hollow. And it's been, I mean, someone was playing who let the dogs out until like 3 in the morning 2 nights ago here near the church, and we need to meet.
I leave for a couple of weeks, Moses.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna blame.
There's no point in putting blame. I'll come and speak to you.
Oh no, there is many points of putting blames. Let's. Can we meet in our domain, but not in our haven?
Where specifically?
I'll check the security systems just to find a place where we can meet, so I can walk around the place with you, so I can show you. Because there's a lot of surveillance.
I'm in the mood for some sort of heavy metal.
Yes, agreed.
2 hours.
I am gonna need a little bit more because...
Well, name a time then, Moses. I'll make sure I'm there.
Well, Benjamin has, lockjaw, but it was thanks to Alicia. Her and her nails, So I need to get him sorted and fed. So how about close to midnight?
I'll be there at midnight.
Cool. See you later. Bye. Hang up. Walk to the constable. Just...
Constable's not awake. Jeremiah is.
Oh, okay. Oh.
And so is Nancy.
Evening, Father. Because Nancy is like... So, quick question. Why are you whispering? Because it's disrespectful in the house of the Lord to be like... I was raised different, okay?
Clearly.
We usually we're not loud in churches, or try to avoid it. Unless we're praying.
I think speaking loudly in the house of God is the least of our sins. We eat people. Moses.
Benjamin is awake, he roused. He needs to feed desperately. He is a mess. On the best of days, he's not a fighter, not a hunter. He has a beast and he hunts and he uses his tricks, but he always very sensible about not getting hungry. Right now, he's a walking breach of the Masquerade, and our domain is riddled with security and surveillance and police, and I have no idea where to take him. Like, the only domain we have is probably the worst and most dangerous place in the city for him to hunt, and I don't want to be breaking rules or poaching.
How vengeful are you feeling?
Vengeful?
Yeah.
Depending on who am I exacting my vendetta.
Well, based on word, this is something that you've been after for a bit of a time.
Okay. So, somewhat.
How do you feel about personal grooming?
Personal
Yeah, I thought that'd get your interest. I did my homework.
You, Nancy, have got my undivided attention.
Yep. You'll owe me. Not a big one, but you'll owe me. This is more just trying to make it clear that when it comes to background checks, I'm better than you.
I'm never disputing that, ever.
Good.
Unless I beat you to it fair and square in about 100 years. How about that?
Okay. She pats you on the head and then walks past you. So, they've got a bit of a gathering going on. It's used to be a kind of club, and they got bought out, and they kind of gather there and show all their nifty little pictures and all their grooming things and all the rest of that shit. It's quite sickening to read into, actually. So, they are due to meet in 4 hours.
So like at 11,
Yeah.
something like that. Okay.
And I don't know about you, but I'm not in a wrist-slapping mood. And I've seen some of their recent exchanges and their purchases.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking castration with scissors.
Have they been more active of recent?
Oh, yeah.
Understood.
So then after the snip, then we can...
Well, I'm more interested in having Benjamin feed.
yeah, that's,
so he can...
bonus.
A bonus.
We
Cool.
can go in, boom, and then throw him in and lock the door.
Yeah, I was thinking something more along those lines. Yeah, dismember men and things that are not my thing.
Sure, leave it to me. Put it this way, these guys are, they're leaving my fucking city. And I don't want them walking out. I'm not bringing this to the constable. It's below her concerns.
Absolutely. But he's right up my alley of... They're high up in the list of people I want to see suffer. So yes, let's go about this.
Cool. So...
Cool.
11. We'll leave it 10.
Yes, absolutely.
Cool.
And I will use those hours to finish cleaning, keeping him in check. And if I can convince him to maybe pray for 10 minutes. Also, I talked to Father Jeremiah at some point. He was like, I would like to do the last rites for Amelia and the guard and Jim. If he does that for Kindred, if not, I'll leave him. But the other two were kind and they were innocent,
It doesn't take much convincing. He does go down with you, and he goes to each of them in turn and performs the last rites. He's clearly uncomfortable when he sees Jim, but he performs the rites anyway. He doesn't say much. It's quite clear from when he does speak and the few words he says that his throat is fucked, to the degree where it's obviously paining him when he does. So once he's finished doing the rites, he excuses himself and then steps away.
I thank him.
And he steps back up the stairs. And he moves off towards the pews and just sits. And he pulls out some food. He's looking quite worn, quite thin, a lot thinner than when you first saw him. You get the feeling that he hasn't been eating properly recently. So the food he's got is meager, but at least it's something. And it's probably the first time you've actually ever seen him eat or take any sort of sustenance. The constable still hasn't woken. Or if she has, she hasn't left the room. So, are you doing anything in the intervening time? Either of you?
Oh yeah.
Before 11. Or 10 rather.
Yeah. Are you intending on doing something?
Uh,
Because I tell you we're going to have a bite, but it's around 11. So we'll leave at 10. But it'll be something that'll be...
we.
Nancy's coming with us.
I can't leave like this.
We'll take you to a place where you can feed like that.
Oh,
You're going
right.
with 2 hounds.
All right.
It's not like it's precisely going to bridge the Masquerade.
I'll come.
Trust me, the guys we're going to see are going to look worse than you.
Oh.
I mean, I'm going to fuck them up.
I see.
Even if you lose yourself to the beast, it's not like you're going to kill anybody. So don't worry about it. We're going to give you as many blood bags as I can.
Blood bags. We're going to a hospital.
And then we're going to... I'm just going to give you a lot of blood bags, okay?
Yeah.
All right. All right.
You can satiate yourself.
Yes,
So
that
you
will be
can
good.
heal.
Yes, that will be good.
Okay.
I can't believe she's dead. Just like that, like someone switching off a light. Like for nothing. It doesn't make any sense. They're going to get her, aren't they? Alicia, I mean.
No.
They're going to destroy her, aren't they?
Well, the constable is going to be chasing her, and she's not going to stop. She's not going to forget. Alicia will never set foot in London again, and if she does, she's dead, as good as dead.
But-
Probably in the rest of it.
But the prince asked for her the night. I don't know how long I've been out, but he asked for her, and the next night Alicia was there in my domain.
Yes.
She didn't care. She didn't care what the prince said.
Because she didn't know what the prince has said. Now she does. Or at least suspects it.
She sent werewolves to here. She sent werewolves to here. She must have known.
Yeah, and her werewolves are nothing to the constable, the prince, and yours truly.
Oh,
I mean, how many coterie members you had that have killed a werewolf?
one.
And I'm just gonna be rubbing it in a lot of people's faces for a while. So it's okay. She has no sway over you anymore. No power. Lisa Ketting went last night to your place
The Toriel Primogen was there last night?
with Edmund.
Oh no.
And that's why I said we had other concerns. Why would Lisa Ketting and Edmund be together, Benjamin?
Well,
You never told me they were.
I didn't
friends?
know. Lisa Kedding designed the building, and Edmund.
The Visions of Voltaire.
Yes, she was the architect. She designed it,
Cool.
and wanted to come and visit, and Edmund gave me the deed. Somehow, he must have got it from Michael Chase somehow, but even Lisa didn't know how that was. I mean, she. I'll shrug.
Wait. So Michael Chase gave the deed to Edmund.
Well,
I thought they kind of hated each other.
they did.
Makes no sense. Why would he have the deed? Like I know. You said that
Well,
with the help of Edmund, you got the Visions of Voltaire.
He
I
gave
didn't
me
know.
he gave me the deed. He put it in my hand, and gave it to me. And then later, I found out it used to belong to Michael Chase.
That makes no sense.
Well,
It's like Alicia getting the deed to the Cross Hands if it still existed. Handed over by us.
the
Not
thing
gonna happen.
is that Michael Chase was killed in the attack.
Oh yeah, the Sabbat attack. Yeah, terrible loss.
So I don't think he gave Edmund the deed. I think Edmund took the deed.
I'm not sure you I'm not sure these work the way you think they work. It's not a finders keepers, losers weepers kind of thing.
No, but
know what I mean?
but he can be very persuasive, can't he? If he wants things signed or things done, he can make that happen.
And why wouldn't anyone say anything? Like, especially from the Toreador clan.
I don't know.
I mean, if he did it that way and he just went, grabbed the deed, made things happen, unless he was owed big time, but
Maybe
someone
he was owed a boon.
or several. Or maybe he owes many boons right now. Oh. Who keeps tracks of boons?
The harpy Michael Chase.
Exactly.
But now it must be someone else. It must be the is it the one that hosts Elysium?
Well, it's not necessarily the harpies.
Nancy.
And now I'm gonna not necessarily the harpies' job to tally up the boons. There's a position, the herald. Camarilla politics aside, Michael Chase was unofficial harpy, herald of all boons, and Toreador Primogen. That's why he had the power he held. So.
Does Benjamin know who the new herald is from his time with Sabine? Can I make a roll for it, if nothing else?
Yeah, you can make a roll.
Oh. Get those hunger dice.
Make that.
Why did I open my mouth?
Well, I've got the
So
mic one with Jim.
assumedly intelligence and politics.
Mm-hmm.
2 successes and a skull, should it be relevant.
Okay. You do recall that when you went to Elysium before, there was mild chat that you managed to pick up while you were going around. The suggestion that at the moment, whilst there's no official harpy, the job of cataloguing the boons goes to
Miles, right?
Okay.
Miles?
Sexy Pearl.
Elizabeth Addington,
Oh.
the Ventru.
Yeah.
The Ventru Primogen.
I'll say, oh, no, it's the Ventru Primogen.
Yeah, but does she know who owes what in the way Michael Chase did? Like, of course, a lot of people, if you owe me a boon, and Michael Chase knew it, but I don't know if her knows, if she knows, I would just run and say, hey, this boon right there.
What time is it, Moses? Is it time to go and feed now?
No, it's 8 o'clock.
Oh, only 8. It feels like it should be later. I'm so hungry.
It's 12 past.
Oh. Only 12?
Don't worry about it. Eventually it'll be 20 past. Pray. Or read. Here. And I give him a Bible. Like, distract yourself.
Oh, alright.
Sorry, I don't have, much variety in this moment.
No, you've done so much for me. I'm very grateful.
What I need for you to do is to focus on something.
Yes, I should focus on
away
something
from the
that is not blood rushing through veins very quickly, with a sort of pulsing. What?
Read. I will ask you questions. How about that? It'll be like a little quiz.
All right.
Go. And I go into the computer. My intention is to try and access the security of the main, the postern.
Okay.
See how it is, how it looks.
It will be difficult. So, it'll be intelligence or resolve, your choice. Plus technology.
Intelligence it is.
Intelligence if you're trying to do it more quickly. Resolve if you're willing to take time on it. But it'll be an easier check.
No, I'm gonna go with intelligence because I have other stuff to do. Network supplies?
Yes.
And that is awful.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
7 successes, messy critical.
Yeah, that's
You messy critical this into the break.
You have, actually. While I look this up, guys, we're going to pop onto the break. So I will hand you over to my lovely cast members so they can do interval things.
Cool.
Thank you very much, Phil.
Death
Relationship map. No, it's relationship map.
Relationship
A
map.
new relationship map.
So,
Well, it's the same. We just changed a lot.
all right. So the obvious shift is that, of course, Jim is no longer on the relationship map, but in his place is Sarah, and we had a debate about whether she should be strung to Moses, but we weren't sure they quite bonded.
Nah.
It was a bit touch and go with the whole should I kill her thing. But Alicia, obviously, she's connected to, and also Lisa Kedding at the far end as well. And then if you cast your eyes over to Benjamin's corner of the map, you will see that it is a mess. And that Amelia has gone from it. So there's sort of it's appropriate.
And Moses apparently is still playing the game of let's get more red strings connected. So now he's connected to Nancy, as well as pretty much everybody on this side of the board. I'm running out of string.
So you may notice that in many ways this board is looking quite a lot emptier than it used to a few sessions ago, and the reason for that will be coming clear on our next board. So here we go.
Oh my god.
Oop. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
So the first thing to say is on the board of the dead. Hello. Is that I made a mistake last week and I put Amy the werewolf into the board of the dead as killed by Emrys.
And she's not.
But she has not been confirmed killed by Emrys, so she is back to being uncool until other words are spoken. That's right, Tyler, she's uncool because she doesn't like us. And that's how this qualifies in this board. So,
Wow, man.
the other thing to mention, maybe, I don't know if Phil you want to do this, but Alicia obviously has had an update.
Yep. So Alicia now is connected to Amelia, police officer, and DS James. Yeah. So
Yes.
a few more updates on there. So she's racking up some kills.
Yes, she is. And then we've also got Emrys, who the +2 werewolves have gone to +3 werewolves.
Yeah.
And he's also now been attached to
Jim.
Jim.
Poor Jim.
Poor Jim. So the first member of the coterie has fallen, and luckily there's not enough space on the board of the dead for anyone else, so no one else can die. It's official. Woo! God, that was close.
From Tyler's face, we're going to get a second board.
That's right. A bit of careful management, we can make plenty of space. We can shuffle things around, no problem.
Yeah. Right. Smaller thing there.
And I think that is that.
I think that's that.
So, who wants to do next?
Malop!
Oh, Malop.
There's one new entry on Malop.
Hey.
But it's not a new country, but it is a new city. So we're being watched from Ipswich in Suffolk. Suffolk. Sounds wrong, but Ipswich in Suffolk. Sorry.
I'm sorry, Suffolk, but you sound wrong. It's
Sorry.
official.
Perdón, señor. No, mi inglés no English, not very good looking.
No English good.
No English good to
Sí,
hear.
señor.
Perdón, señor. Thank you very much for
Thank you.
watching us and let us know where Malop is. And I believe that person is new in chat.
Yes.
Caught up with on Twitter. Caught up with all the episodes, and I think they mentioned that they were going to be joining Chad live tonight for the first time ever.
So welcome, hello.
And they're the ones who found the Foggy T-shirt. Yes. Like, well, a Fox T-shirt with a bow tie and glasses and a top hat is very Foggy-like.
Do we have a name? Username?
On Twitter.
So while they're looking that up, we also had a lovely treat this week.
Artist Unknown 25. Sorry.
We also had a lovely treat this week where one of our disaster ghouls, Kirsty, had come over to the UK and for her sins came and met with us, which was very lovely. And we very much encourage if you're watching and you're somewhere out there in the world and you want to come and pop into Bristol and say hi, we'd love to meet you. Not only did she come and be lovely company, but she also brought us presents. I should say you don't have to bring us presents, just you is enough. But we were very touched.
She went above and beyond.
And if you cast your eyes towards this part of the table, you'll see various clan symbols and sect symbols. I don't know
if I'm on camera.
I can also confirm to you that Dylan is
fighting with the
member
camera
of the Anarchs now.
I think it's a bad.
No, I think he's Anarch.
Oh, you went Anarch.
Yeah.
Oh, you went Anarch.
Yeah. Dilly is an Anarch. Now you know. And of course,
Callum is absolute Sabat.
Callum has always been Sabat.
So if I do that, I can be Sabat too. Yeah. If I do that, I can be both.
You're a good cami boy, and you know it.
Excuse me. I predate the camera.
And in addition to that, she also got us some Stroop waffles. So
Stroop waffles.
Phil's going to eat one. I should say that some of us, who will remain nameless, have already eaten quite a few Stroop waffles, so thank you very much, Kirsty. But Phil has not had the chance yet, so
no,
he's
I haven't had the chance. So.
Also, welcome to Rachel Phoenix 85 is the person we were speaking about.
Oh, yes.
Welcome, thank you. For
I would have never found you on the chat because it's totally different from your Twitter handle. So thank you very much.
So any other business before I get onto my business?
Nope.
Yes. Bedankt.
Oh yes.
Thank you, El.
What?
Kirsty.
Thank you,
or thank you very much in Dutch.
Oh, right.
Thank you, El.
Okay, Phil is already. He has business, but not that he can share with you, so that's fine. So one of the things to mention is that next week there will be a brief pause in the normal Blood on the Thames show, and there is going to be a one-off session that I'm going to be running called Blood on the Thameses. And it's going to be looking at the world of darkness from a mortal perspective. And if that isn't enough to get your interest, Tidus will be coming over to this side of the table to play alongside Phil and a guest player, who I will say nothing about at this point. But lots of excitement coming up this time next week, and then the following week, Blood on the Thames will pick up again, as usual.
Is it Dylan?
I can't tell you. I can't tell you.
In my heart, it's Dylan.
I think Dylan's in all our hearts, one way or another.
Every thud.
Are there any questions from chat?
I forgot to ask.
Oh, Dylan!
Oh, guys, throw your questions out quick. I want questions. I like it.
Any questions that the chat might have for us?
You've got time for maybe one question, if you're quick. Oh, we were saying such nice things about you, Dylan, as well, and then you
fell from grace.
Okay, Elysium Balance is asking if they can have a thin blood one shot from the...
Oh. We'll keep it in mind.
One shot of thin blood. Yeah, absolutely. We can work with that. Eventually, we can. Acknowledge that they might have a place in Kindred Society, maybe.
I mean, I'm not sure about them, to be honest. But
that's what. They're slowly growing on me, but slow, slow.
It could be
like they are human, like kind plus.
What about Thin Bloods, the session of shame?
Yeah.
What about Thin Bloods, the shortest session ever?
Yeah, I see them like Mortal Plus, like Mortal XP.
So
that's it.
So probably at some point. Probably at some point.
Any other questions?
Apart from Elysium Balance asking them how much you guys love me, but otherwise.
How much we love him?
How much we love you?
Lots. You.
It's funny because
before you said that you had forgotten about asking the question, you know,
Yeah.
you had like a perfect record in my heart.
Yeah, I know, right? And now you have a perfect minus 0.001.
So it's like we love you now, infinity minus 1.
Oh, no.
You'll take it.
Yeah. How was the street waffle?
Lekker.
Streety?
I still have the maple syrup, so I'm going to try the street waffle with the maple syrup.
Oh, that's then I want to try that now.
And well, I'm not going to be trying it now, but if that's the case, then I'm going to go send more.
Yeah.
So when Kirsty came to it, that was. Thank you so much. We did. I know we didn't expect that.
No.
And when Kirsty pulled up the gifts, I'm very glad I was sitting down because you took us completely by surprise.
Oh, and Aurum's drawing. Aurum.
Yeah.
From Spectaculars, Phil's character Aurum.
So if those of you watch the
Those-
Spectaculars one shot, the two sentences of Spectaculars that Peter ran, at the end of it, there was a moment where my character went into big form. I was and Kirsty had done some fan of that, and after that I commissioned an art piece from that, and she gave me the initial drawing.
Oh, the
which
first thing. Thank you, Kirsty.
Thank you, Kirsty.
Let's stop before Phil makes us all
I
cry.
was going to say, this could be 3 for 3. The other thing to mention, by the way, because Kirsty mentioned it and I feel I should, is that I'm told reliably, and I've tried this for science obviously as well,
For science.
that the best way to have a street waffle is to have a hot drink and put the street waffle over it, and then the heat from the drink melts the caramel inside.
It's good.
And I feel I'd be remiss to not mention that. For those of you who haven't had street waffles and want to go out now and try them, that's how you're supposed to have them. And there you go, Phil, you can do that next time as well.
And the syrup as well. Oh.
For the street waffle enthusiast out there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. So, any more? No?
I think I just want more horror.
More horror? Right.
No, please, no.
No.
Like it's gonna be a very
I'm working on the
busy
character
night.
chat. Don't worry.
It's not your turn to make a new character.
Yeah.
So. You awake, Sarah, alone, where you were before, and it is still dark around you. But the experience of you awakening for the first time is haunting. In the sense, it's not a case of slowly coming back to yourself. It's a sense of very slowly having senses turned on. First you can taste the air, then you can hear, and then you can see, but your body doesn't move. And then, as you try and breathe, as though you've suddenly come to the conclusion that you've got no oxygen in your body and you need it to survive, your lungs won't work. And it's almost like there is something blocking your windpipe. There's something holding your limbs down, and it's terrifying. And you begin flapping as pathetically as you can in your state against the floor, trying to rouse yourself to any state of movement, and very, very slowly your limbs begin to respond. And it's only after you have fully panicked and moved yourself into motion do you recall that you don't need to breathe. But even knowing that, there is still the panic of that feeling of emptiness in your lungs, and your brain still working on the assumption that if you do not inhale in the next few seconds, you're going to suffocate. Just do me a willpower roll, please.
This is not true frenzy, is it? No, it's not.
No, it's not frenzy. Just to see whether or not you can hold off Blush of Life.
Whoa! That will be 6 successes.
As you begin to panic, it's almost like you're hearing that voice in your ear. Breathe slower. And you can remember the words being said to you last night, and the soothing tone of which she said them. And as though she were there coaching you now, you force yourself to become still. You force yourself to stop allowing your body to take these inherent actions. You force every part of your body to stop doing what it naturally wants to do. And it's only when you are stock still and you hold that do you begin to stop panicking. And you remain there motionless for a good 20 minutes before there's the sound of a car approaching. And then there's the sound of the door being jingled with keys. And as the door opens, Lisa steps in. She has her hair cut short, tied at the back, and she has glasses perched on the end of her nose. And though she's got a turtleneck top and jeans, and she has a satchel with her, she's bearing a coat which makes it clear to you, even though you can't really feel it on your skin anymore, that the weather outside is unfavourable. And the umbrella that she lowers but doesn't close, she shakes off and then looks over to you. When you're ready.
It's still covered in the blood of the.
I have a change of clothes for you in the car.
Is waking always like that?
She shakes off the umbrella, closes it, and shuts the door. Like what?
Senses going back one at a time. Is it always like that?
Yes. But in time you forget what it used to be like. And with nothing to compare it to, it just feels normalized. Not natural. There's nothing natural about we are. But you can normalize it. You can come to expect it. Anything else? Well, to give you a moment longer to compose yourself, I will go and get the change of clothes. They should fit you.
Thank you.
And she opens the door and steps back out to the car. And you can hear the door. And then she steps back in. And she has what looks to be a shopping bag. One of the ones with the kind of wire handles. And she steps over and places it in front of you.
Thank you. Do you have anywhere I can change, or?
I can turn around if you prefer.
Please.
She turns around.
But I'll see what it is.
It's just been purchased clothes. It's frighteningly close to the sizes that you wear normally.
Put them on.
It's basically just a simple sweater, knee-length skirt. There's boots in there as well. There's underwear. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, put the normal stuff in the bag. Thank you.
You finished?
Yes.
She turns around, takes the other bag, looks you over slowly, and then reaches behind you and begins taking the labels off and puts it into the bag. Do you have a brush?
Not with me. Do you have one I can use?
No. I tend to sort myself before I come out. I didn't know if you had one in your satchel. No?
I don't think so.
Well, use your fingers as best you can.
I'll start trying to pull what's out.
She begins to lean the way back into the car, settles you inside it, and then pulls away and begins moving off. I've been informed that the prince will be in attendance, so you will speak to him directly. I'm not sure what time he'll be there, so it's probably a case of waiting tonight. There isn't a court in session or anything like that, so it might give you a chance to get a bit more of a lay of the land rather than being thrown in the deep end.
And with the prince, I should address him as... what should I do when I meet him?
I'll tell you before he arrives.
Okay.
To be honest, you shouldn't address him directly unless he speaks to you anyway. If he's willing to engage you in conversation, that's probably a good thing. So. Meanwhile, you two continue to wait and pass the time.
So, sorry, while we're sitting here, Benjamin will be looking through, because the good thing about a Bible is there's some good apocalyptic passages, so he's looking for stuff to match up with his vision.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's Old Testament.
Have you only given him the New Testament?
I have you like a pocket Bible, dude. You know, like there's over 72 books.
Okay,
So-
so he'll start
All
looking.
that.
He'll start looking
There
at.
is a little bit of Genesis, a little bit of Leviticus, but not lots. It's going to be mostly the Bible against, according to Lucas, Mark, John, and Luca, Marco, Juan. Yeah, well, I know them in Spanish, but yeah, the 4 apostles.
So I think
That's what the Bible.
he'll mainly be, because I don't think he'll know his Bible that well. So he'll be looking to see for anything with an apocalypse in it, to see if there's anything that he can use. And also trying not to cry bloody tears on the Bible. Because, of course, he's going to try not to think about the fact that A, he's hungry, and B, Amelia is dead over there. So.
It's difficult. So is there any particular... Are you just doing it out of interest, or are you looking for anything in particular?
He has seen an apocalyptic vision recently, which felt quite biblical at the time. So he's looking to see if there's anything that matches up in the Bible that Moses has given him. So probably, I mean, it doesn't need to be very accurate. I can clutch at straws.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to clutch at straws, there's probably some stuff that you can find.
Awesome.
Yes, definitely.
I mean, it's not like you can go, they're detailing my vision!
Oh no, of course
Yeah.
not, of course not. But he'll be looking for something so that he can obviously wave it at the constable. Be like, see?
Don't wave a Bible at the constable.
No, it does her aggravated damage, I'm told. I'm just kidding.
Aggravated damage is dealt,
Yeah.
just not to her.
Yeah.
Just holds the Bible and backhands you with it. So, you continue to read the passages in the Bible. What's Moses doing?
Dealing with that messy critical.
Yes, you are. You're...
I'm looking because I'm trying to check surveillance, our posture now. Our
Yeah.
posture surveillance.
A lot of the efforts you made... Well, how many successes did you get?
7. 7 successes, messy critical.
Okay. So, what were you looking for?
Mostly areas of the domain that had, like the extended domain that we have now, that have lower surveillance, that are, less, they have less heat, especially ways in and out around Trillins, because that's where I'm meeting
Okay.
Katya after midnight.
So you do find that the areas surrounding the 2 hospitals are relatively quieter, because there need to be able to get any and all injured individuals or any and all people that are being injured as a result of opportunists during these times being brought in. So they are probably the areas where the police are having to keep their distance for the sake of efficiency. Trillins, there are the occasional police cars going by, but that's more due to its close proximity to the crossed hands than because anything has happened specifically there. So you could make your way there, unless you're doing something to draw attention to yourself. You should be okay.
Okay.
However, as you are looking through all of this information, because you are dealing with the system which is not whole, because you are toiling with the stress and mental exhaustion of the past few days, and because your beast is beyond pissed at your constant refusal to it, the methods you use to secure your security are rash, and as a result you end up knocking the system out. You got the information you needed, but the system is down.
So I will have to go back and...
You'd have to go and manually reset it and start it back up, which is going to be harder to do when the core of it was set up in Crosslands.
Oh yeah, but the surveillance, the posture now, it's piggybacking, half piggybacking in the CCTV. So
still needs to be reconnected.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not going to be an easy fix, it's sure.
No, it's something that I will leave for future nights if we are considering going back to our domain at some point, but it's not going to be in the near future. So
it's worth noting that where Nancy's saying to go for the grooming ring, it's going to be difficult to get back for midnight.
I'll let Katya know.
Okay, so what do you send to Katya?
Dealing with Benjamin's food allergy situation. Not likely to make it to Trillin's after at midnight, maybe later.
The message you get back is simply, tell me when. Give me time to arrive.
Will do. And that's what I do. It must be around 9 at this point. After I've been like doing checks on the internet or whatever, plus the last rides and all that. This is night 2 of Jim's wake, so like, basic stuff, standing next to him and praying.
Okay.
And then tomorrow we should start making arrangements for his burial.
So when the constable does arrive, she heads out pretty promptly. There's minimal discussion said between her and Jeremiah, but it seems more her checking in with him very quickly in French, and when once he said something, she gestures to the rear room, he nods and steps off towards it, and then she makes towards the door. Nancy doesn't stop her as she goes, and she hasn't got with her anything to suggest she's got her sword, but she does go out the door at a pace as she goes.
Am I still in the basement at this point?
If you want to be, otherwise you can be upstairs. You can stop her if you want to. She's not like legging it to the door.
Okay,
She's
and
just...
then I do, because I have Alicia's video from last night, and it's not a long video, and I can show it to, like, I just run to her with my laptop. I found something on the video, a message from Alicia to me. And then when the video's over, I tell her, remember when I said that there was the possibility of breaches to the Masquerade and Kine being there? There were 3 Kine. Detective Sergeant James Richardson, whose head is now downstairs, but we don't have his body. Sarah and Alamber. And neither of them knew anything. But Alamber, bless you, Sarah, Jeremiah. Alamber is in a hospital with multiple concussions. Would you like me to see if he knows anything? And we'll sort that out.
If he does,
I know what to do.
discreetly.
I will ask Nancy for help.
Anything else?
Benjamin is up. Ben!
Oh, come. Over. Hello. There was something I'd like to say to you, if that's all right. Do you? Is that all right? So, oh, thank you. They said that if I told people what I'd seen, that they wouldn't believe me. But I think you might believe me. I think you might understand because they were with you over there. I'll point to where she was praying. But they were talking to me, and I think it was because of them that I saw what I saw, and so I think you might understand. That I saw something that's happened before, a long time ago, I think, but it's going to happen again. It's going to happen here, and it was very apocalyptic. The sky went red. And everybody was on fire. They were burning and screaming. Everyone. And this has happened before. I don't know if you know about it, but it's happened before, and it's going to happen here. I'm sure of it. And I wanted to tell you because I think you might understand.
When she answers, it's in French.
Okay.
She doesn't do it slow.
Okay.
But the gist of it is, if you do translate.
Yeah.
For those that do not seek forgiveness, God's judgment will be swift and absolute.
Did you translate that?
Yes.
So, that makes sense, because in the vision you were the only one that wasn't on fire. The only one. So this must be because of this.
Yeah, you mean you saw people live on the street on fire?
Everywhere.
And I was
Screaming.
the only one who was.
You were the only one not on fire. The only one. Everyone else. Everyone. And it was here.
Here in the church?
No, in London.
Has London fallen before to fire? I think there was a great fire. I don't know a lot about history.
There was a great fire of London.
Are you referring to that?
I don't know. But I think it's coming soon, very soon.
He's had visions in the past. I think I mentioned one he had when we were in the Warrens.
Yes.
With a drawing that he did. I don't know if you have seen it. He saw a creature. I don't know what to make of it, but I mean, he's my friend, but I don't know how I feel about those visions, and I trust him. I just don't know what they mean.
But no, we do, because the constables told us it's God, I think.
Well, you describe what's written in the Old Testament, apocalypse.
It was like the apocalypse. The sky, Moses, the sky changed colour.
Yeah, there are 7 seals, and one of them is. But do we have access? Like, do we have a basic library with the texts, with the holy text, in which I can just go and grab, look, apocalypse, and let's start?
No, not a basic library. I mean, there's the standard books you'd have in a church.
Okay.
In the back room.
Yes. Okay. So maybe do we have your permission to just go and peruse them, so he can gain some peace of mind? I would try to take something also from Genesis, which is better and lighter-hearted.
Oui.
Merci beaucoup.
She turns and walks out.
And I just go there. So let's do some investigation. It's just apocalypse. It's just
get biblical.
What languages are the books in?
French.
Latin. Oh, okay. French. Worse. Okay. Latin I can try and read. French, no.
There are some Latin, but they're like, for the books you want, they're pretty much in French.
If it's like French has like 3
Because they're
different types of
the ones that because you've got the more recent copies that look to have been the ones that stock the church, but the ones that you do manage to pick out because they looked noticeably different seem to have been printed hundreds of years ago.
Oh, so something like Gutenberg's Bible but
in French. They were printed in France.
Oh, let's look for something newer, less expensive. Should we destroy it? And that is like the thing is that written French is very different. Like it's not massively so, but very different than Spanish. They have like different types of punctuation and things like that. So phonetically, yeah, sure, I can try and you know. How do you call it? It's sweep my way, but written is not something I think Moses, with his current understanding of French, I think something Moses would not be able to pull off.
So while Moses is trying to figure that out, Benjamin will look around. Do I think that we're alone?
Yeah, I mean, if Father Jeremiah's around, he's not in the room.
Sure, I'll lower my voice.
Was
a
it
bit.
sneezing a while ago?
Yeah. Nancy's around as well, but she's not in the room either.
So, I want to share a secret with you, Moses.
Okay.
You know how I think you're going to survive this, whatever it is. I don't think Emrys is.
You don't think Emrys is?
No. Because the constable said this is God. And I'm not a believer particularly, but this is, changing my views quite quickly, what's happened lately. And the one that spoke to me in the church, I think they were talking about Emrys when they said that the biggest sinner of them all was coming. That was before he came.
Well, I think he's pretty old, so he has had plenty of time to sin. More than most.
I'm just saying. I think you're going to be okay, but I don't think he is. I didn't want to tell the constable. I didn't think that would be a good idea.
I don't know what to think of your visions.
I don't know what to think either, Moses, except that...
And that's why I don't know, because it's not like you are telling me this with the complete conviction that you are seeing the true light.
No, I mean...
you are distraught. This is something...
It was very alarming. There were people screaming and on fire everywhere. It was horrible, apart from you and the one that was talking to me about all of this. That was it. Everyone else
wasn't talking to me.
Yes, the one that was in the church later that was talking to it was talking to me, but was with the constable, holding her hand when she was praying.
What was she doing?
She was praying with that candle like she always does, often does.
Have you seen him? This person you see? Have you seen him do other stuff?
I don't know if it's a him or a her.
Okay, this individual, have you seen them approach somebody else? Have they approached me when I'm praying, or did they approach Jim before or after he died?
No, I don't think.
Or you?
I don't think they're here like you're here. I think they're.
Well, in your visions, have you seen them near?
I mean, I don't.
Amelia, near. Have they been doing anything with anybody else other than just the constable and praying?
Well, I think sometimes they look like other people. Like I think they once looked like Amelia.
Okay.
But I don't think anyone else. I think other people can see them, but I don't think many people. I don't think they're here like you're here. I think they're. I don't know. It's strange because I didn't get the sense that they were very religious when they spoke before, but the constable wouldn't. She's so knowledgeable and has seen so much because she's so old that she probably knows much better than I do. Because I didn't think that they were religious, but maybe they are. Maybe the constable must be right. The constable must be right.
The likelihood of someone having encountered religion, the older they are, is very high.
Yes.
But also because there are some beliefs for Kindred that are tied to religion. Like, I did some digging. Remember those Sabbat guys that killed Fuggy?
Yes.
They called me Cainite. They referred to Kindred as Cainite.
They were horrible.
Yeah, they believe we're descendants from
I'm
Cain.
so glad that they've been, got rid of. They were all so scary.
It's okay.
I'd almost forgotten about them and everything else. Oh, Amelia's gone, Moses.
It's okay. It's okay.
She's gone.
It's okay.
And I said I'd look after, and I said I'd help Sarah, and I failed. I didn't help either of them.
Well,
They both dead, basically dead, aren't they?
yes.
And I said I would. It was the last thing I promised Jim.
Yeah, but by the time you promised Jim, probably it was already too late for Sarah, and there was no way.
And Danielle, oh, she is going to be so angry.
Why?
Oh no, I shouldn't have said something. Sorry, I'm so relaxed with you, Moses. I forget that I should keep some things as private.
Okay.
Oh no. Oh well, I can't see it. When I've fed, I'll see her. I'll see her.
Yeah, invite her over.
She's going to be so upset.
Yeah, that's why she's better. She's here. Like, we can console her.
So, in your new attire, you are driven towards the Elysium Club. The Asylum Club, apologies. Which is very new looking and has attracted quite the crowd. There's a number of people already waiting outside despite the early hour. And it's clear from the security on the door and how slowly they're letting people in, and from the din that's echoing from inside, that it's quite busy. However, when the car is pulled up and Lisa steps out of the car, she doesn't make towards the rear of the line, she makes towards the front of it. And although quite a few people look around as though to go, what the fuck are you doing? She moves straight up, ignores them, and walks straight past the bouncers, who say nothing. And then as you start approaching and they begin looking at you, almost with the intention of moving towards you, she looks back over her shoulder, shakes her head, and then moves off, and then they both step out of the way as you move through the door. The club inside is packed. The music is very loud, very disorientating, and yet everybody seems to be relishing in it. The bar has multiple staff members moving back and forwards that are selling drinks at an alarming rate. And you can hear the footsteps overhead from where the balcony is, the people are up above. And the stage is already alive with a live band which is setting up, even though the music that's currently on is from the speakers rather than from them. And as Lisa begins guiding you in, she pauses every now and again as you begin slowing, and then she just waits for you to join her. And then she starts making her way towards the back, towards the security room. Not the security room, sorry, towards the private rooms. And then as you start making your way towards the door, she turns, leans in and says, "Wait here." And then turns and makes her way over towards the room, steps inside. And you're waiting there for a good while. And then as she steps back out, she's removed her coat and her umbrella, and she moves past you, offers you her hand, and then begins leading you up the stairs across the balcony. A few people kind of look around at you two as you're going around. A few people seem like they're considering going over to approach. And although she offers them a smile, she completely otherwise ignores them and moves towards one of the booths. One of the back booths, which nobody is sitting on at the moment. And then she takes a seat in one of those shadier booths. You can still see what's going on in them, but you'd really have to kind of be in the right position to actually see everything unhindered. And as she sits towards the back, she makes a space on her side and on your side. And then she sits and waits. Do you come to clubs often?
Not really. Not really. Sorry. And years ago, Jim was the one that would hand out clubs, but that was with co-workers. When that was years ago. I didn't really see a mass point of clubbing.
There's benefits to it, but you'll learn that.
You said yes. You asked me yesterday if I was feeling hungry.
Mind what you say.
Like there's a little bit. Is that normal? Or is it?
Depends on how hungry you mean. Do you feel like you could eat a 5-course meal, or are you just snackish?
Snackish, I think.
Then you're fine.
Okay.
And then she waits. You guys.
Is it 10 p.m. or?
It's approaching it, yes.
Approaching. Yeah, I leave him with. Actually, from Moses' Bible, I leave him with like normal, like lighter, better, like scriptures for him. Just read passages for him to just entertain himself. Nothing to distress him. We're not reading anything in the French and Latin. Well, there's not Latin here, and we can do that research later whenever he feels like weird. But whatever he needs to distract himself. And I will start making arrangements, like not arrangements, making preparations for when we leave. So I'm taking from what I have from my duffel bag with stuff.
Yeah.
I only take on my satchel my laptop, of course. But I do put here a couple of USB drives and a couple of floppy disks.
Okay.
For information. My gun with both of my clips, normal bullets in them for the time being.
Okay.
And a stake. I asked Nancy for one. Like I'm kind of a bad hound if I don't have a stake with me just in case. So, do we have stay?
You're asking
Nancy, yeah.
Well, Nancy's returned now. She's got a kind of fishnet top on, and a tank top underneath it, and she has what looks to be like a metal skirt, almost like it's a chainmail one.
Yeah.
That is
cool.
Uneven, so it kind of goes onto both sides.
Oh, yeah.
Rocking the New Rocks, and she has a crucifix around her neck. Her hair is tied back on braids on one side. And although the other side's not shaved, one side is straight and one side is braided. And when she comes back in, she's got the duffel bag over her shoulder. And then she chucks it down onto the pew as you address her. What do you need?
Steak? I just realized that times in which I needed to maybe try and stake Jamie into torpor or stake anybody into torpor, I don't have a stake.
Well, we had the one that we brought Jim back with.
Well, that should be.
Am I going out with you?
Yes, you are.
Do you think we could find maybe a scarf and a baggy jumper and some things that aren't covered in blood and holes? I'd really rather not breach the masquerade, given how the prince was.
Told you he was cute. I'll give him my hoodie.
You're not having any of this.
No, he's having my hoodie.
I don't think that's going to cover up much of the injuries, to be honest. But thank you for saying.
I give him my hoodie, which is going to be a little tight on the arms, because Moses is like very.
Yep.
Yeah, because obviously.
And also, it's going
Benjamin's packing massive pistols.
No, you're taller. The thing is that it's going to be like short on the sleeves.
Yeah.
And like short on the waist. It's going to be like a hoodie that is.
How short is Moses? Is he very short?
No, he's like 5'6". 6, 8.
Oh yeah, so maybe slightly. Yeah, okay.
But he's like really skinny, so that's
Okay.
Okay.
8. 5, 6, 8.
See, we're definitely moving into the comedy end of things
Yeah,
again.
it's uncomfortably tight on the injuries you have. I mean, it helps to hide them.
Yeah.
And although you don't need your body to be, fully in place to keep yourself functioning, it still hurts. But you've got it on. You feel a little less panicked about the prospect of leaving. Nancy, after your comment about her fishnets, is finding it hilarious watching you squeeze into a jumper that's far too small for you.
Okay.
And then once you're done, she picks up the other bag, slings it back, and goes, "Ready?
Ready.
Ready to go and get some blood bags."
I go downstairs, I
I'm
brush
very hungry.
downstairs, get Jim's steak, put it in the bag, and climb upstairs again.
Okay, so when we get these blood bags, are we sending him to snack first, or do you want it? How interesting do you want to make this?
I'm also hungry, so I think I would help him better if I am fully fed first. So in case he needs controlling.
Oh yes, because I'm very hungry, Nancy. Actually, hang on, do I never have met Nancy?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I have, yeah.
2 nights ago
Yeah.
when she.
I'm
3
with
nights
it, I'm
ago
with
when
it.
she picked us up.
I'm very hungry, Nancy, so I might not be as restrained as normal.
We'll cope. There should be about 7 of them. You should be fine.
It should be fine, yeah. So there's plenty of people.
People or bags?
I'll go and get the car. She turns and walks out.
Slight change of plans, but instead of draining, like, you can drink from multiple people.
Oh, that's clever. Yes, that's a good idea.
Okay. So you can hear the van pulling up. And then they're...
I just go in and, like, my intention is to try and avoid Benjamin completely losing it and destroying and killing, and just, I'm gonna give him a chance to feed, but if he goes into frenzy and I cannot control him, well, at least we're, like, society's not losing, like, a brilliant and starting member of it, it's like, not a problem. But if he can control himself, then all's good. He can feed until he reaches whatever hunger he wants, and I will be, I will be feasting.
Cool. So...
I'm just trying to save him the painful moment in which he basically goes into a rampage, killing a lot of... It's just... I'm not setting him up for carnage. Unlike Nancy, who seems to be very looking forward to it because it seems hilarious. I'm not. I'm just trying to get him. Also, if they waste energy on him, then it's easier for me to get him.
He's the human shield.
I'm a very flimsy human shield.
I know. I have noticed.
It's like, oh, the shield's gone down.
Do not worry.
Wow, that's one bullet that didn't hit me. You've done your job well, Ben. Okay, so you both head outside. You with your uncomfortably tight sweater that you lift slowly and kind of. I mean, it would be comedic just seeing him like, if it didn't have such dire consequences if you fucked it up. But as he climbs into the van, Nancy waiting. She's got the heavy metal playing. It's not hardcore, but it's
Judas Priest.
Yeah.
Nice.
She's
Judas Priest is good.
It's that style of music. It's from that era, and she's one of those people that likes to crank it loud. And if she notices his discomfort, it goes louder.
It's the early 2000s. Disturbed.
Yeah. So as she starts
nice.
playing it, she'll look around. She sees Ben, and then she goes, and then turns it up.
I will say to Moses, I suppose at least it's taking my mind off my stomach.
Absolutely. Especially if she has something that Moses might know. So he's like, if not, he just goes with the rhythm without singing along. It's distracting.
Yes!
Brilliant. Job done.
And then she begins pulling away.
Okay.
You've been waiting in Elysium for a while. There's been a few people that kind of wander past and look into the booth. And Lisa watches them all as they pass. They don't stray too close. And they don't come close enough often that you feel like you're on display. But before too long, someone does approach the booth. And it's an individual that looks to be in plain clothes, but he's quite a solidly built man. And then he approaches Lisa and then leans in and speaks to her, and she nods, and then slides out of the booth and then gestures for you to join her. And then starts leading the way back down the stairs. The large individual breaks away as they reach the bottom of the stairs and goes off to rejoin the crowd. And she moves her way towards the rear door. And then opens it and then gestures for you to follow and steps through. So the office itself is a large rectangular room. And there are numerous designs, pictures of the club, or club that looks like it but is different in size, design. There's people dancing that aren't currently there. It's the different type of people. You can tell that based upon the types of attire that they're wearing, the kind of bands that are on. I mean, you're not terribly kind of up to date on popular culture, but you notice that the bands aren't the kind of local bands that you'd have. But you can see a desk arrayed, and the individual that sat behind it is what looks to be quite a portly man in his probably about his late 50s, and he has a bald head and like a small tuft of hair around the side, and he's got glasses perched on the end of his nose. He looks like he's wearing casual attire, smart casual, and when he looks around, he's got an almost not quite fatherly. He looks like what you'd expect a mildly successful businessman to look like. Someone that's comfortable in where they are, but is still reaching for that. And it's kind of shown in their appearance. And he watches as you step in, and then gestures for you to take a seat opposite. But then as you're starting to make your way in, you realise that the chairs that he's gesturing towards are against the wall, because there's already someone sat in the chair opposite. The individual that you see sat in the chair opposite, it looks to be, you can't really tell his age, based upon the way that he's kind of hunched in the chair and just leaning forward and speaking. But he does have like long stringy hair, and a baseball cap that's perched back over his head. And as you walk in, he stops talking and just watches you move. Lisa Ketting ignores him and moves over to take a seat on the chair, and then gestures for you to take a seat next to her.
Twilight.
And the string-haired individual turns in his seat and just stares at you and Lisa. Even as the guy behind the desk starts speaking to him, it takes him a while before the one behind his desk can raise his voice enough over the sound of the music to get him to stop and turn back around. That's pretty much everything we have to speak about. So if you can make sure you speak to the individuals involved, I will do my part. Anything else to talk about? Okay. So if you step away now, then we can resume this discussion at the end of the night. I've got a few more meetings I need to have. The individual with the baseball cap gets up, looks around at you and stares as he makes his way towards the door, stops at the door, opens it, and then steps out and shuts the door. And the individual behind the desk stands, and Lisa Ketting stands and approaches the chair. She looks at the chair that the individual was sat down on, brushes it down, and then takes a seat, and then gestures for you to take the next one. Sorry to keep you waiting. Primogen. And you are?
Sarah.
I'm Miles Wright.
Nice to meet you.
So, I don't recognize you. New? Inducted? Shit. So, how new is new?
If I'm, what I'm saying, about 2 nights, I think. 1.
Not yours. No. The other sire? Do you know your sire?
No, no.
Alicia. Clan Gangrel. Oh. So, my condolences on the rest of your night. The Prince's due in whenever he gets here. So, until then, Mikasa Sukasa.
Thank you.
Behave yourself and don't eat any of my guests. Wow, you are new. Really new. People out there, no Bido. Keep your fangs sheathed.
Okay.
He rubs his head, his bald head. And you get the feeling that, given that how fluidly this expression comes and how practiced he seems in the maneuver, you've solved the mystery of why, at this stage in life, he has no hair. Look, I'm gonna put this as plainly as I can. I'm having this, what you'd call in the business as a shit night. I've already got to cater to what could turn into some really shitty outcomes. So don't add to it, yeah? If you're gonna go out and enjoy yourself, that's fine. But you stay to yourself.
Is there any way I can help, maybe?
What?
I don't know.
Huh?
Is there any way I could maybe help?
With what?
Making your shit night easier? I don't know.
Thanks, but no.
Okay.
I mean, until I know you're accepted, I can't really, like, make this a thing.
Okay.
I mean, I've already got a large black mark against my name. I don't need to add to it.
Sorry.
Why the fuck are you sorry? So, what was your name again?
Sarah.
Sarah what?
Woods.
I know that name. Anyway, Primogen, I got someone I need to go and pester. So, if you don't mind me, I'll ask you both to skedaddle, and I can get things locked up and, get business underway before his lordship gets in. Lisa just nods and rises.
Miles.
And starts making the way back towards the main room.
And I follow, just quietly go. So, his lordship the way to address the prince, I'm guessing?
Depends on where you are.
Okay.
There's a variety of titles. Just do as I do. He won't be here for a while. He won't be here until the kind have left.
Okay.
So, until then, and as he said, enjoy. I need to go and check whether or not I have certain individuals that are in attendance tonight. So return to the booth where we were, and I will check on you later on. Don't go anywhere. Remember what I said. And she readjusts her glasses and steps off. Where'd you go?
I just returned to the booth.
Okay. You sat there for a while, just observing people. And you're, despite being in a place that is so utterly filled, you can't remember the last time you felt this alone. And as you are considering that, you hear a of the of the seat next to you. And as you stop and look, there's the string-haired individual that's just sat close to you, and he's just watching you.
Can I help you?
What's your name?
I'm Sarah. What's your name?
You smell fresh.
Move away.
He doesn't move after you. He just watches you. You're new too.
I'm guessing you're not?
To London I am. Big time's coming.
Okay. Bit of a further away.
Stays where he is. Just watches you. Yeah. Sarah.
What's your name?
I want to have a talk with you, Sarah.
It would be easier. It would be easy if I knew your name.
I'll tell you my name, but I want to talk with you, Sarah. Quiet place.
Okay.
The prince won't be here for a while. We got time.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not to stay here. I'm staying here.
He leans across the table. I can save you, Sarah.
What?
They're gonna gut you.
No.
They will. If you change your mind, and I recommend that you do, I'll find you. When you look back up, he's not there.
Jim.
Meanwhile.
It's food time.
You've been driving for a while. And you've had every incentive to keep your heightened senses down.
Yes.
Nancy seems to be absolutely relishing the music, relishing your discomfort. Which, given that you're already riddled with pain, physical pain, it's hard for you to hide your social discomfort at the music. And other than Nancy's not being nasty about it, she just seems to take amusement in that. And as she's driving with you guys, eventually she reaches a point towards the southern end of the city. Not too close to the outskirts, but far enough away where it's... it's far enough away where it's not, like, busy. In fact, it's relatively quiet by comparison. There are still people coming here via vehicles. There's still some businesses and some houses and stuff. Whether they're open or not depends on the nature of the business, but it's far enough away where it can be obscure. And it's only when she's approaching here does she finally turn the music down. And then when she stops, she pulls into an alley which is so close. It's hard for you to squeeze out of the side once you've pulled the doors. But what she's done, she turns off the ignition, puts the keys away, and then reaches underneath her seat and pulls out a Glock.
But what?
Just for protection.
In case the blood bags get a bit too uppity.
Moses, what?
We're feeding on for people.
But we don't normally need guns to feed off of people, aren't we? Just going to get them when they're asleep.
Yeah, but don't. The
Well, if we
police
shoot them
carry
enough,
guns.
they'll be asleep.
Hey, do police officers carry weapons?
Well, not guns. Not unless it's a SWAT team or something.
We are the equivalent of the SWAT team of the Camarilla in London.
Yeah.
Right or wrong? You know about us.
Yes.
This is standard issue, Glock 9mm and death. Death all over. And steak.
Oh, give me that.
By the Glock?
No, yeah.
The steak?
No, the Glock.
The Glock?
Yeah. Would you take the... Oh, whatever. She reaches into her bag and begins screwing on a silencer.
Ooh, thank you.
I'm having this back.
Yes, thank you very
No,
much.
say it.
Yes.
Nancy, you're having this back.
You're having that back, Nancy.
And if I don't,
And
you
if
can
I-
castrate me.
You'll-
No, say it.
You'll definitely have it back, Nancy. And you will have it back.
Don't have your silencer then.
Just check it.
These people that you're going to shoot,
A lot.
a lot. Moses, you need to look me in the eye and tell me that these are not people like Amelia. I can't.
Pedophiles. Worse, actually.
There's worse.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Human trafficking, kidnapping kids, and selling them to pedophiles.
Oh. All right. Let's go and kill some blood bags.
You're not killing anyone, but I like you. Just stay behind. And
Don't worry. Nancy will see to it.
I'm fine.
Would you like a silencer?
No, I don't really do guns.
you can hide yourself using the powers of the blood.
I'm very hungry, but I suppose so.
Better than be seen like that.
Don't worry, if you go, we'll lock you in.
Yeah.
Then you can go nuts.
I obfuscate. They're there, so they will see me, but I just activate unseen passage.
Okay, fine. Let's see if I can get a Hunger 5 for the first time in the game.
Do it.
No, it's not a Hunger 4. But I will disappear.
And you wasted 10 on that die as well, so.
Okay. So, Nancy, who does not obfuscate, she does pull up put on a leather jacket and pull up the hood. She takes the Glock, walks with it against her back with a low whistle, moves over towards one of the rear doors, and then just grabs hold of it.
Gotta love potence.
Hello, pedophiles. I'm going in.
Well, she can see me and us. Actually, she can see us because I obfuscated in front.
Oh no, she wasn't not looking for you. She was looking down there.
Ah, okay, cool. I take point. Now that I'm like unseen, I just whisper as I go. I was like, I'll take point, and I go in front, and I just literally just go. Of course, I don't want to be. So.
I'm assuming you've got Silence of Death.
I will now.
Okay. So you begin making your way into this room, and it looks like what is basically a showroom for motor vehicles, because the vehicles are still there. The door itself had a remarkably strong lock, which you can see hanging from the other side, but she's basically ripped it off its hinges as she pulled it free. She does stop to turn around and then undo the screws on the bolts and remove the actual lock, so there's no clear sign of it having been wrenched because it's a metal lock. And then she pockets it in the satchel that she's got with her, and then she begins making her way down the other side. She moves in a way that suggests she's not, she's not practicing a professional level of shooting, but she's got the right end pointing where it needs to go, and that seems enough for now. As she makes her way slowly into the building, beginning the sweep, heading towards the office and the desk and the cars. Everyone do wits and awareness.
I probably would have heightened senses up. Is that reasonable this time?
If you want to have it up.
Actually, no, I don't, because there's... Actually, no, I do, because they've got silencers on the guns.
Keep in mind that you will feel your pain more acutely as well.
Well, then no. You persuaded me not to.
6 successes, critical win.
Nice.
3 successes.
Okay.
6
So-
on my side.
Okay. You can hear. What was yours? Okay. You can hear voices coming from upstairs. They are not they're not loud, but they're also not to the degree where they're trying to keep things down. It's quite clear that they don't expect anyone to come here. You can hear the sound of a television set. You can hear the sound of what seems to be about 7 people. 2 distinct female voices. And the rest sound male.
All adult?
All adult. But based upon the tones of their voices and the fact you got 7 successes, they seem varied between late 20s and 60s.
Okay, so widespread.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can hear movement up above, you can hear the cracking of a can as something's been opened, and you can hear discussions, what sounds like them discussing a poker game. So, Nancy is going around looking at some of the cars. But then after a while she stops and she looks up and listens. And she just starts walking.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for her so we both go. Are they inside a closed room?
They sound muffled, so there's a door shut between you and them. You don't know if it's an enclosed room. It is
does
upstairs.
it's upstairs. I just go upstairs.
Okay. So you begin making your way up there. Nancy begins following. Where are you?
Well, when I heard the sounds, I was already headed that way.
Okay.
But when I become aware there's a door between me and them, I'll probably let one of these. I'll be looking for an opportunity to slip through the door when it's opened.
Okay. So. You have been waiting for a while. And there is no immediate return from Lisa. But there is an individual who approaches you, and when she takes a seat on the booth behind you, the wall between you is low enough that she can kind of glance over and look at you. Are you okay?
Yeah. I'm okay.
You don't look okay. Sorry, I don't mean to pry, it's just you're kind of set up here on your own.
Tough few days.
I get that. She reaches over. I'm Tina.
Nice to meet you, Tina.
I haven't seen you here before. I thought like I was one of the only people that didn't come to Asylum.
This is my first time.
What put you off the music? You knew? Or?
I'm here with a friend. She's just busy at the moment.
Okay. If I'm like interrupting anything, just I can go.
I'm just waiting at the moment.
Okay. Can I get you a drink?
I don't really drink.
Okay. Well, she gets up and walks off.
Could I tell if they're Tyne or Kindred?
Do a wits plus medicine check.
One.
No.
No way.
No way. You have no clue. You barely even know what to look for now. I mean, you half expect this place to be filled with Bela Lugosi's. You know, you're still kind of like confused as to what you're looking for. But after a while, you hear a buzzing in your pocket.
Oh.
It's a text message.
Open it.
Okay. It says, "He's here. Meet me outside."
I'm gonna go this because the number doesn't recognize the number. Yeah, okay. Move outside.
Okay. You get up, you make your way down the stairs. The girl that approached you kind of watches as you go past. She's there with a collection of friends that lean in and whisper, and she just watches you go. And then turns and smiles at them and joins in their laughter, but doesn't seem too involved in it. You make your way down through the crowds. You can see the larger individual which had escorted you down. He seems to be keeping an eye from the stage, and the band's almost finished setting up, so it's about to start playing. So you make your way towards the out front, and as you bring in your because you haven't got a coat on, and you know it feels cold, but you don't feel the effects. You know it's cold, but you're reacting more on impulse at this point because you know you should feel cold. And you have a glance around. You don't really know the guy you're looking for. But then you move and have a look further down. Do me a wits plus awareness.
Two.
Okay. You move towards the alleyway, having a look, and then stop, turn and look back. And as you see someone approaching in what looks to be a smart coat moving out, you think, oh, that's probably who I'm looking for. You're about to take a step when something grabs you by the wrist and yanks you sharply in towards the alleyway. And before you can react, a hand is clasped over your mouth and you're shoved behind the bin. And then the stringy-haired individual is just staring at you. If you scream, I'll punch you in the throat so tightly you won't be able to make a noise. Do you understand me? I want to talk to you, Sarah.
Who are you?
Well, if you talk to me, I can tell you.
I'm talking to you now?
Good.
Where's Lisa?
I'm on your hand.
Why?
I'm asking nicely. One time.
Press something against the wall. What's going on? Who are you?
I try to be so nice. Take my fucking hand.
Rattling against the wall.
Right. Okay. Strength plus raw, or dex plus athletics if you're trying to move.
I'll be dex plus athletics. Definitely dex plus athletics. Because Sarah is not Jim. Let's cover that in dice. Oh! 4 critical win. Happy critical.
Okay. You duck underneath him as he presses down, and you hear brick crush as he moves for you. And then as you turn, you feel a sharp yanking back as he grabs you by the hair and pulls. And as you come back, he smacks you solidly in the throat, and you feel your windpipe snap shut. So it's 2 points of superficial, halved goes down to 1. And then as he clasps his hand over your throat again, he begins dragging you back, holding onto your arm towards the end of the corridor. And then as he moves over towards the corner, you feel your foot begin to give way as you step onto empty space. And then he moves you towards the sewer passage and throws you down into it. And then as you hit brick and water, you hear the slosh of movement as he starts coming down behind you. And then the sound of a manhole being dragged over. And then you see his foot, his dirty booted feet appear in front of you. And then you hear him crouching down. And you know he's crouching down because the presence that you can feel is very close.
So it is definitely dark in there.
Yes, very dark.
I'm going to sort of focus on the will to be able to see, and Eyes of the Beast.
Okay.
I'll heal it then. How new are you?
He reaches over and grabs you by the scruff of the neck and starts dragging you. And he gets you down towards a passage and then moves you over out of the water against the side of the sewer and then just crouches down in front of you.
There's a red star. I dreamt of the red star. There's so many signs. I thought it was, you know, the other kind and fucking immigrants and the sinners and no, their fathers are coming back. I'm ready to repent. You really need to heal your throat. That noise is really fucking irritating. Do you know how my sire taught me how to heal? He broke both my legs. Yeah, my ribs. And my arms. And he left me outside an hour before the sun. He said if I didn't heal, I'd burn. I learned pretty fucking quick. Would you like me to leave you out for the sun? Then heal.
Focus. Go hungry.
The beast begins awakening. You can feel that hunger growing worse.
What's your name?
You know my name.
What's your full name?
You haven't told me.
What's your full name?
Sarah Woods. What? Does it have any significance?
It does.
What?
Because I was told you'd be coming here tonight.
Bye.
I wanted to make sure you're the right Sarah.
What? What?
You know my boy.
Who? What?
My boy.
Your boy? I hadn't anyone.
Yeah.
Where is he?
Who? I don't know what you mean. Who are you? If I don't know if I don't know who you are, how can I possibly know who your boy is?
I'm the alderman.
The alderman?
Yeah. We want honesty. You and me.
Yes.
Okay.
I need to get back to the club.
You're not
Lisa.
going anywhere. I want to talk to you.
But Lisa's gonna.
Don't make me break your throat again.
I just don't want it broken by anyone. And Lisa's been kind. Lisa's been explaining things. I don't want to offend her. I don't want her to think that I run off.
He begins shifting. And as he begins righting himself, his limbs seem to elongate. And it's almost like a spider uncurling. And his jaw becomes impossibly long and narrow. And although he still has the baseball cap, the face is beyond horrific. It is the thing of your nightmares. And the way he uncurls and the way his claws kind of move, everything about him is a cross between a spider and serpentine in how he moves. And as he uncoils and his legs grow longer, he moves slowly over towards you until his face is inches away. Where's Moses?
Moses is your boy. I last time had the visions of Voltaire. That's where I saw him. Or that's what the only time I've seen him. He's. What are you?
Just another sinner.
I can go last week at least if she can find him if that's what you're looking for.
I don't need stupid. He moves back. The one he hangs with.
Hangs with? Who?
Curly hair.
Curly hair?
I need to meet the prophet.
Prophet?
He knows him.
Do you have a name for the prophet? If you have a name, I might be able to help.
What's his name?
Who? I don't know. You're not looking at him. Don't you have a name?
I once was tasked with the job of finding an errant Neanderthal in another country. When he was embedded in mortal politics and couldn't be touched. And you know what I did?
No?
I killed him. And I didn't do it slow. If you tell anyone I've spoken to you, I'll do the same to you. But this time I don't have to go to another country, and I don't have to wade through mortal politics.
But if you want me to find this Moses and the prophet...
You've already told me more than what I need.
So can I go?
Yeah. But now one word. Sarah Woods. Or your own life will be very short.
I move towards a ladder and your way out.
He watches you move, and all the time he's watching with a finger pointed in your direction.
Looking around, then I'll go back on and head back towards the asylum.
Okay. You go back inside. The bouncer lets you through. And Lisa is waiting at the bottom of the stairs, looking around. And then when she sees you, she immediately winks her way over towards you. I told you to wait upstairs.
I show that. I thought this was you.
At what point did I get your mobile number?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm sorry. I've just...
The prince is on his way. Are you ready? Everyone is leaving in 15 minutes. That is the minimum amount of time you have.
I suppose it doesn't matter if I'm ready or not, does it?
No, it doesn't. But it helps to be polite.
No.
Okay. So you go upstairs and you wait. You guys have started making your way up towards that door.
Yes, we have.
And what do you want to do? The voices are on the other side of the door.
I watch Nancy. What do you want to do?
It's my understanding that we kick the door in and fill them with holes.
Is it, since you said this is like a card suit or something, is this a door like on the center or close to one of the outer walls, or how is there any other apparent or evident ways into that?
It doesn't appear to. You get the feeling this is more like an office area or similar.
Okay.
And that the stairs just comes up, has a single door, which there's a minor landing, and the door goes in. You get the feeling it's more like a kitchen area or something, given the nature of the fact that this is both a showroom and it's a place where they do large commercial selling of cars and stuff, that they have this kind of area for staff that are here working quite long hours.
Brilliant. I just go like, okay, cool. And I just squirt and I was like, you keep it.
So wait, we just shooting them straight off, or?
Well, I could try and go around the outside, but
You have to open the door.
Exactly.
So who's opening the door?
Benjamin.
Now, in my past history of using obfuscate and doors and things, there's a risk of it dropping if you open the door. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
We need you to open the door.
Okay, I'll walk over to the door.
I brace myself against the opposing wall. So the moment he opens the door, I jump in.
Okay. So you're trying to jump in subtly, or you're just trying to jump in?
Well, the moment he opens the door, if there is no one standing right there, I just jump in. It's not subtly.
So it's not just a case of kick the door and be like, "What up, noobs?" and just start shooting people, no?
Nah, it's gonna be me jumping in and obfuscating.
God damn it. Okay. Well, I can't have everything. So
Well, I mean, she's gonna say, "What up, noobs?" and then everybody's gonna turn around.
that is
and
such a nasty thing to say.
Yeah.
So
and
make your way.
I'm gonna be standing behind
Okay.
them.
I need something good dice.
Beautiful, isn't it? Beautiful. That would show you.
Yeah.
Fucking terrifying.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes.
Nice.
5.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, you're opening the door, and
I'll open the door.
and I'm jumping in. If it's clear, if it's not clear, I should first then jump. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So how many successes?
5.
Yeah.
5 successes to stealthily open the door.
Yes.
Okay, so that won't drop your...
Cool.
Means you're getting full of holes. Probably.
Hmm?
Possibly.
Okay. So, as she's there with her weapon, the only one that's unobfuscated, she watches as you move forward, and your hand almost seems to glide over as you press it down and no sound comes out, and you push the door and it begins to open. People begin filling out of the Elysium. And then, as people are slowly ushered out and the music begins dying down, you can hear the clinking of glasses and stuff. Lisa doesn't move. But then, after a few minutes, she hears a voice from downstairs. She gets up, brushes herself down. You ready to meet the prince?
As ready as I'll ever be, I suppose. How do I address him?
My prince
My prince.
will do.
Yeah, okay. Anything else I should do?
If you haven't already, pray. And she begins leading the way downstairs. And that is where we're going to leave it tonight.
Coolio.
The moment you gave the description, of course, like string hair, baseball cap, I was like, Peter,
Yeah.
Howler, man, it might be, and it was. So it's my worst nightmare come true.
Yeah.
Not smiling.
And probably mine too.
Yes, because
shortly
now you're
afterwards.
looking for you.
As well as during that, thanks to hint_. Thank you
Yes.
so much.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much.
So, yeah, thank you very much, guys, for joining us. We wanted to come back and say fare thee well. As Peter pointed out, next week is not episode 35, it's the one-shot I get to play! Woo!
Blood on the Thames.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm fascinated to see what character Titus is going to play alongside
Yeah.
me, or how as a player he's going
It's a
to.
handsome young artist.
Yeah, I like the sound of
I
that.
just
We
called
shall
up
see.
So, yeah, we'll be back for that, for the one-shot, so make sure you guys spread the word and come back and watch us. And then the week after, we'll be picking back up
Yes.
with episode 35.
Where
Thanks again to Kirsty for
Yes.
coming.
Yeah.
so much.
You rock.
Oh my god! And I
I am stealing those. So cut it.
Yeah.
Bye.
Cut for the violence.
Thank you, guys. I'll see you next week. Bye.